What's up? What's up? It's the Arthur Moats Experience with Deke. I'm Arthur Moats, and that's my main man, Deke.
What's good, bro?
Well, it was a very, very, very unique past 7 to 10 days for the boy. Obviously, I was back home, man. A couple of services. My sports teams took care of business, so we had a lot of sports activities this weekend. Not all of them took care of business. One of them took care of business. But I did finally get a chance.
Interesting circumstances around that team, huh?
Very interesting circumstances. but I did get a chance to see your guy. I got a chance to see your guy. What? I got a chance to see Izzy, Abanikanda, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
he had
yeah,
like
yeah.
2 carries or something, right?
He got some opportunities. I was scouting, I was on scouting.
I tried telling people, no.
Yeah, I like him.
You can see it.
I like his game. I ain't nigga. I like his game. So it was a vibe like that, man. Yeah. It was a very, very just a lot going on. But, when in doubt, I figured that we had to be smoking on somebody's pack today. So that's why I figured I'd throw my Bills on so I could at least be smoking on my Jets pack. Because I know JMU ain't take care of business this week. They still ranked, though. Shout out to them still being ranked. Shout out to the record-breaking crowd again at College Game Day. Broke our final 2 records that we done broke in terms of attendance with that. 26,000. Shout out to my Dukes out there. Hoop team still ranked, taking care of business. Yeah, man.
Where you at on game day? They should be featuring you.
Bro.
I saw the dude from Barstool.
A lot of people hit me up about it, but the timing. You got to remember, man. I was in one funeral on Tuesday. I was at another service on Thursday.
Oh, fair.
Yeah,
right.
So when I literally got to Harrisonburg, we found out they were going to announce game day as I'm booking flights for us to get down to VA.
Yeah.
And literally between the flights along with hotels in Harrisonburg, everything went stupid. So we were just like, oh, thanks a lot, game day. As much as I would love to be out there and be a part of it, I'm very much grieving. So while game day was going on, I was actually heading back up here, man, with a lot of funeral stuff in the car. It was not the best vibe, but I love the turnout though. I do love the fact that we have multiple JMU Dukies on, in attendance. And we had the Jonas Brothers. Shout out to the Jonas Brothers. You a big
They
Jonas
went
Brothers?
to JMU?
No, but they were singing at College Game Day on JMU's campus, and it just added to the craziness.
No, I'm not a Jonas Brothers guy.
Yeah, me either. But they, performed at JMU, so now I got to like them. Yeah. But it was a vibe, though, bro. It was definitely a vibe, man. Yeah, plenty to complain about, but not a lot to complain about, if that makes sense. So, yeah. But what's up with you, man? How was your weekend, man? I haven't seen you in multiple days, man. It's been too long. You still drippy as heck. You want to compliment my outfit, too?
No.
I tried to color coordinate. I thought you was going to have on blue.
Not this
and
time.
some red. I just wasn't sure. So I was trying to color coordinate. But I love your flannel. The flannel with the tee, the layers. You got that fall look going. I'm just trying to have fall with you, That's why I threw the hoodie on.
Doesn't work for my eyes.
Oh, that's crazy. That's
Doesn't hit.
Crazy. Yeah, not a little bit.
I'm sorry.
But we on that Jets pack.
Not me.
What? I thought we were on Jets pack today.
Mm-mm.
It's an AFC loss. Come on, man. It's another team we got to worry about, man. It's doing a due diligence, man. Doing a service.
I would have rather the Bills lost.
Just doing a service, man. It's just helping out, playing our part, man. That's it.
Nah, the Bills need to lose. But I took a Florida trip last week.
Got a little sunshine on you, man. A little
Not really, to be honest. Don't I look about the same?
Low key, yeah. I thought it was just me though.
So here's the interesting part. Whenever I get down there, stay with my cousin. Actually, he listens to the podcast. He's probably listening right now.
Shout out, man.
Stay with him for a couple of days in kind of the Tampa area. He's in between Tampa and Siesta Key.
Yeah.
And first day I get there, drizzling rain. Second day, pouring down rain the whole time. Third day, it was pretty much steady drizzle.
Okay.
It was a lighter rain, steady sort of rain throughout the day. He said it hasn't rained in Florida for the last 3 months. But all of a sudden I get down there and it's like the worst weather they've had in a while.
I was like, is there a so-called rainy season in Florida? Like, I don't remember hearing of that type of stuff. That's kind of crazy, man.
But then it opened up last 2 days, but I got to the beach too late. I slept in. I had it was vacation, man. I was relaxing.
You supposed to relax on vacation.
I was relaxing. Yeah, I got to the beach, around 1 or something. And I was out in the sun. And actually too, This one kind of hurt. My friends were calling me Elon Musk while I was out on the beach. They said they need to put sunglasses on when looking at me. I was so white. I did. I had like a farmer's tan. I'm sure I still have it right now because I didn't get that much sun. I wasn't out there that much.
You supposed to be out there showing off that Deke body, man. Yeah.
I didn't look bad. I didn't look bad. It could have been better. The trip was short notice, so I would have hit the gym. I would have dieted a little bit better heading in.
The 2 week, yeah.
Yeah, I would have been a little bit better with that, but I thought I was fine.
Respect. But overall, good trip, though.
Great trip.
I like
I'll
that.
tell you what, man. I would love to go to the beach every day if I could.
Serious.
It's just re-energizing.
Well, that's what they say, man. California, Miami, man, optimal places because of what they do for your mental health, man. You just feel good when you're in that sunlight, the vitamin D, what it does for your endorphins. You're
connecting with the earth.
Yeah. Sometimes they say even walking outside barefoot, it's like it grounds you. It's supposed to be like good for you and stuff, man.
I tried that a little bit over the summer, but like it's the ultimate grounding experience being on the beach.
Seriously, man.
Because obviously you're walking on the sand, you go in the water, getting the sun from the sun. So yeah, it was re-energizing. Didn't really get hungover. I don't think it's possible to get hungover on the beach because of that.
What? Shout out to you for that, bro. Shout out. Yeah.
Am I wrong? I think the beach.
I think you charge up. I would agree.
Yeah, I think the elements they charge you up.
See, I'm
overpower the
nervous
alcohol.
to try to play the alcohol game, man. I might go down that spiral for real right now. So I'd be like, you know what? We're just gonna stay on our plants, okay? I don't care how Snoop Dogg, Pump Fake Dog, y'all. He wasn't gonna get me. All right. When he said he quit smoking, I said, buddy, you by yourself. I'm locked in.
Oh, is he actually out?
No, he was pranking a lot of people, man. He was doing it's like a, not a grill, but it's like one of them like smoke pit, fire pit type things. Okay. Yeah, that he was promoting. But the big gag was he dropped it today. So everybody over the weekend, it was, oh, I'm quitting, I'm stopping. I'm like,
yeah, I believe them.
Shout out to y'all, man. Yeah, for me, I'm like, it's helping me get through some of these harder times, per se. Especially when my sports teams don't take care of business. Up until this week, Deke, I had been hitting solid. You feel me? My Stills were taking care of business. My Dookies were taking care of business. And my Blue and Red, even when they were slacking, they still were giving me enough that they were taking care of business. But that was not the case this weekend, man. That was not the case. And I was actually a little upset about that, man. I said, of all the weekends, this the one you don't want to do what I need? It's kind of crazy,
a bummer.
man.
Such
Seriously,
a bummer.
dude.
Multiple reasons. I know we'll get into it, but... Nah. Yeah, I'm not even going to say anything right now.
We're going to tap in. Now, we definitely get into this.
There's so many
man.
things running through my mind right there.
We definitely going to get in because it's plenty that we're going to unpack with the game, man, without a doubt, man. But yeah. Trying to think,
X-Concept says, I have a Steeler and Kenny hangover today.
Ooh.
Go to the beach.
Respect.
You get revived.
Respect. Them hangovers be hitting like that. If y'all need anything other than that, you can always throw on some Blue and Red. That helps me get through some of the rough times on a day like today. Just want to throw it out there. Even though, Deke, this was supposed to be like my sleep-in week. Man, I was up at, super early this morning, man. We was out at West Mifflin Middle School today, man. Doing a little Steelers STEM projects and stuff like that, man. Salute the kids over there.
Building the next generation.
Rocking with yeah, absolutely, man. Steelers and U.S. Steel, man. Absolutely, man. Love anytime we get a chance to do that. But yeah, it's been one of them days. I'm like, yo, we've been active today. So it only feels right that, when you need to cool off and wind down, you throw on a nice hoodie. I got another one if you need one, though. Because I know you've been traveling. It's a lot going on, Rough week. How was Pitt this week?
They won
Shout
Thursday
out to
night.
Pitt. All right, shout out to Pitt.
Yeah.
Let's go, man. Hell to Pitt.
They got the win.
See, you said
our third
Thursday.
Quarterback for the season, Nate Yarnell.
See, I definitely missed
He might be the guy this time.
This is the guy?
Finally.
Are you sure this is the guy?
Yeah, he's been showing us signs. He's been doing some spot starts over the last couple years, and for whatever reason, we just overlooked him heading into this season. Didn't want to give him a chance.
Though, huh?
Yeah, we had Jerkovich over him, and then obviously Veillere. But maybe it was Yarnell the whole time, and we didn't even know it.
Who would have thought?
I think he's young, so I think he's got a couple years of eligibility if we want to roll with him next year.
But he was just sitting around on the roster as the third QB this whole time?
Yeah.
All right. I ain't do that. Don't you do that. Don't look at me like that. Don't look at me like that. Don't look at me like you said it. You said he was just on the roster, just sitting around. We done went to that quarterback. You said the other quarterback. And then you said this quarterback started to play. Well, I didn't say anything, Deke.
That's not on my mind.
I'm just looking at you, man. I didn't say nothing.
It's on a lot of other Steeler fans' minds, though.
Deke, you know how I roll, man. Don't come in here and shoot at me. It's them, man. I'm innocent here, bro. I'm innocent. I just repeated what you said. You said that. And you said you think he's the guy now. And you was like, yo, who would have thought that this could have been the case because he's been sitting here the whole time, but he got an opportunity, and you said he produced. That's it, man. And you said y'all won. I'm innocent, bro. I'm innocent. You said that. But he looked good, though.
You know what? I didn't actually even get to see the full game. But yes,
but good enough, though. That's what I'm saying. He looked good enough, though.
Yeah. Everything I've seen, he looked good.
All right.
Because we had the Thursday night game on down in Florida. And, wow, what a disaster for the Bengals there.
Yo, that happened on Thursday, too. See, literally, I missed all that.
Oh, and the
Thursday.
Ravens, they lost Mark Andrews for the year.
I missed all that Thursday. But I remember because I saw the highlights when people were talking about, they keep trying to do they keep calling it, was it hip drop tackle? That's what they call it, I think it is now.
Yeah.
So I remember seeing people go crazy about Mark Andrews and then Travis Henry on Saturday, Florida State.
Okay.
The quarterback, when he went down, the whole leg turned, So, yeah.
Jordan Travis.
Travis
Henry.
Travis. Geez.
That's a Bills
taking
guy
it back
right
at the
there
Buffalo.
for you. Yeah.
You can tell my mom thinking Travis Hunter and Hunter. Yeah. You see I'm all over the place with that one. But either way, though, yes, I was missing some of those, man. But, yeah, Joe out for the year. Andrews out for the year. Watson out for the year.
Right.
Yeah.
That was announced middle of last week.
Yeah. That was also during that time.
And Lamar got banged up in that Thursday night game. He ended up coming back.
Yeah. So, it's definitely interesting, man. Definitely interesting. But,
things were looking really up for the Steelers heading into this weekend.
Hey, you said like they're not still looking up.
Oh, trust me.
Okay.
That was my reaction today. I rewatched the game. I was like,
I
honestly don't think we're far off.
Thank you.
That was my perspective heading into this game. Yeah. And we lost a close one against the Browns.
Come on, baby.
I still don't think we're that far off. I did a whole segment for Bleacher Report talking about Tomlin being coach of the year and why we can go on a run in the second half of the season. I don't think much has changed. I do think the offense took a little bit of a step back yesterday, but we did take some step forward after the bye. So let's just get at least back to what we were heading into this Cincy week.
No, without a doubt. And trust me, man, we definitely gonna hop into it. But I was like, man, don't give me that energy, bro. I was like, no, don't do that.
Not.
Okay,
no.
We on the same page there.
I literally think, and I get why people's upset about the offense and everything. We need to do more, but I literally think Tomlin sets it up to be this way.
Yeah.
And we had our chance. Like we literally had the ball 5 minutes left at Cleveland's 40.
Yeah.
That was an opportunity there. And we also had the ball minute 30, final draft, KP8 time. And this is the one we didn't convert.
Yeah.
I thought we were.
But trust me, we definitely going to tap in, man. So, you know what, if you ready, man, we go ahead and get chopping up with this because clearly we're going to be wrapping it here for a little while. And I'm excited because I ain't talking to you in a minute, man. And I'm glad we get to talk under good situations, not that other stuff, man. So y'all hit that like button on the front end. Don't forget to subscribe either. And let us know in the comment section where you are tuning in from so we can give those big boy shout outs to start today's show. And Deke, I almost fumbled for a second, man. Okay? Because I had to add on what today's show is brought to us by. It's a DraftKings show today, all right? So we're going to hit them on the front end of this thing so I don't get in trouble, all right? Absolutely. Oh shoot, should I just do it right now?
I thought that's what you meant by
man. You know what? Let's do it right now, then, baby. We ain't go trip. Today's show is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. You know, the top-rated sportsbooking app in North America. Safe, secure, and more importantly, it is reliable. I mean, we use it. We are users of the app. But whenever we're talking about anything on this channel, we typically have promo codes or something for the consumer, which is you guys, all right? So if it's your first time using the DraftKings Sportsbook app and you download that thing, okay, well, it's time to put that first initial bet in. Minimum of $5. But if you do that and place the promo code Moats, when you do that, you will receive up to $200 in free bets. I mean, it's a dope concept, man. It's one of the things that, I definitely like for myself. But at the same time, I can understand that not everybody is capable of living that DraftKings Sportsbook life. Some people may have it or may know somebody that has a gambling problem, might be in need of crisis counseling or even referral services. And for certain people that live in New York, it's a number you could text or call. But for everybody else, The number to dial is 1-800-GAMBLER. I said 1-800-GAMBLER. I said you better. 1-800 Now back to our regularly scheduled programs, baby. You know what we on today?
Well, it works because we got people giving us where they're tuning in from.
Oh, hey now.
Give some shout outs.
Hey now. There we go. Just give people what they need a little bit.
Absolutely. Curly Top from the 704 Queen City.
Shout out. Let's get it.
Tyron, 330 Alliance, Ohio, baby. El Moranich from the 512 Austin. All aboard the Mason train. See, I told you.
Oh, no. Is he? Yo.
I know that's what you were referring to whenever I brought up Yarnell.
Innocent.
I knew exactly
Deke,
what you were referring to. I saw the look in your eye.
Deke, I'm innocent, man. I was thinking about STEM. I was thinking about Steelers radio. I was thinking about Steelers TV, Deke. I wasn't thinking about that. I did not know that was the correlation that they were going to draw. I did not know that. I'm innocent.
No, you know.
Deke, you know I'm innocent.
What does all that stuff have to do with the third quarterback?
I'm innocent, bro. Buffalo played their backup quarterback for some time yesterday. I saw the Jets switch quarterbacks. My mind, yeah, I'm thinking about that over there. I ain't thinking about you. Yeah, I'm saying like, yeah, I won't think about that one specifically, not that one.
Yeah, please get the Jets off TV.
All right, man.
Just in general.
It's like that sometimes, man.
Aren't they the Friday night game or the Black Friday game coming up?
The Jets do play some competitive games. Like, they've been winning. That's why they were even talked about as this being a big game for them. It just so happened that
Jets,
it didn't work
Dolphins,
out for them. Yeah.
3 o'clock, Black Friday.
Yeah, man.
What a disaster. And it's going to be Tim Boyle, not even Zach Wilson.
It's crazy how that happens, huh? Zach came in, the starter, left out, the backup. Cause and effect, though, man. It was less about him. It wasn't his fault. It really wasn't.
I didn't really get to watch much of that game.
It's all right. I got a chance to
it was on in the background. Yeah, I saw they did a lot better without their former offensive coordinator, though.
Yeah, that's a storyline. That was definitely a storyline. It was funny, though, because, like, even Josh Allen has said himself, it's like, bro, we know he was the scapegoat. It's nothing different. I think
sometimes you need that though. They do it all the time in hockey.
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely the scapegoat. We was laughing like
the scapegoat.
It was like, yo, he's the scapegoat. We get it. Josh responded. We get it. The offense as a whole responded. Yeah, but that was never about this dude. And we all know who it was about. It was 17. If 17 made better decisions, then they ain't putting it on the OC. But the problem was 17, $100 million quarterback. So they was already had their mind made up. If it don't look right with this one, it's going to be you up top. Whereas here, it's just a little bit different timing right now. We'll say the timing is just different. They're two different stages, you know?
Well, trust me, I'm still good with a firing to get a spark here. I know it's not going to happen.
Respect, though. Because in Buffalo, a lot of people did not think that was truly going to happen because it was clear that it was more on just some of the decision making with Josh. But you get a better situation where he plays better, and now it does appear like, oh man, this was great. This is the answer now. If it comes out next week and it doesn't look the same, what you think they're gonna be hollering about again? Oh man, that coordinator ain't like that, man. I knew it was the man. They figured this thing out. So yeah, man, it's week to week. No different than with our offense here. The previous 2 games, way more optimistic, way better in terms of how it was talked about overall approval rating.
Depends on who you ask, but yeah.
It should have been at least, all right? In terms of just like not having a dog in the fight, just simply just looking at it, we could say, you know what, they had been improving. This was the week where it was like, okay, they kind of either flatlined or went down a little bit, but now we're going to see, how do you respond to this adversity? No different than when we had the Texans adversity. No different than when we had the Niners adversity. It's like, yo, this is the NFL, man. You gonna have some times where you come out there and you don't put your best foot forward. This is the National Football League. And just because they got a 5th rounder starting their quarterback does not mean they don't have an elite defense on the other side that are going to make things very challenging for us offensively. I do think that was part of it as well coming into this. Green Bay ain't had no defense like that. past couple of teams we done played against ain't having a defense that's playing to the level that the Cleveland Browns are playing with. They're playing on a level that when we are really healthy, we play like that.
Or acknowledge.
Yes. And I feel like because we are so conditioned to think offense, no Deshaun Watson, everybody's mindset, oh, this is a blowout game.
They weren't playing any different, Deshaun Watson or
That's what
that
I'm saying, yeah.
PTR.
I'm like, bro, they're the same team regardless of who was at quarterback. If anything, you make the case that with DTR is less of an opportunity for turnovers because I didn't think they were going to have him throwing the ball as much.
Yeah.
But
that's where we met our hay the first time.
Correct.
Deshaun Watson turned it over.
So that's why for me, I'm like, bro, I think this still is going to be a tighter game, but we still should get out of there like we normally would. And we still had them opportunities, multiple of them. We just didn't capitalize on them. But it was 100% there, man. Whether we wanted the field goal or the touchdown, 100% there, man. But that's also where we're at as a team. When we talk about our margin for error, we don't have this great ability to either have turnovers or wasted opportunities. And we can make a case that, man, if you get set up a couple of times late in the game where you get a chance to win it, we don't have the luxury of wasting those opportunities. We actually have to execute and capitalize. And I think, yes, it was just one of those reminders of that. But it also is a reflection of the opponent we were going against. Better competition, you can't get away with certain things that we've gotten away with at times. This is a learning experience, though.
Hopefully it is a wake-up call that when we got to put our foot in the gas, let's put our foot in the gas. Because
we had opportunities.
Yeah.
We had the opportunities, man.
The one where it's 5 minutes left on the Browns 40.
We gotta score.
Get it.
We need points.
Yeah, exactly. I can't even remember the play sequence, but we lost yards.
Yeah.
I think we ended up
having
on
a punt.
third down on like the 42 or 43. Like, you can't have that. Yeah. Why not just think field goal?
Worst case field goal.
At least field
worst
goal
case
there.
Field goal.
Because defense, worst case, is going to let up a field goal these final 5 minutes. Worst case.
Yes.
There's no way we're going to let them score a touchdown.
Yeah.
So then you go into overtime and let the cards play out there. But yeah, and then we did have that final drive and 3 passes right in a row. And it is what it is. I appreciate the aggressiveness. I appreciate the trust in Pickett to get it done. We just had misses.
And low-key, I'm glad I'm glad you brought it up and said it like that because I've seen, a good amount of people, or it's been brought to my attention. People was, pissed off like, why didn't you just give it to Jalen? Why didn't you give it to Naji? Yeah, hindsight 2020. Yeah, sure.
If we would have known, we would have had 3 incomplete passes.
Yeah,
sure.
But at the same time, we can't say fourth quarter Kenny, clutch Kenny, this is when we rely on Kenny, and now you essentially take the ball out of his hands in his moment to shine. This is what Kenny has shown a high ability to do consistently, right? The other stuff, we're like, we're very critical of him across the 3 quarters, but it's like, fourth quarter, them final 2-3 possessions, typically that's when we've been getting Kenny playing his best ball. So to me, I also did not have an issue with the 3 throws. It's like, if you're going to trust Kenny and we're going to say that this is what Kenny does, we'll give him a legitimate chance to do that. But at the same time, we just got to execute. And if this is one of the few times thus far that we've seen Kenny in the clutch moment not produce, I'm not saying that we can have multiple performances like this because we obviously see that we can't. And it has a way different feel for the offense and for him specifically when his performance is like this and we lose. So we know it can't continue, but to act as if this is more of the norm for Kenny, I don't think that's the case. And I think that a lot of people have jumped to that conclusion based on what they've seen. And it's like, no, he could have been better. And does he have to get better? Absolutely. And we've been saying that. But at the same time, it is certain things where it's like, I'm looking at certain things with the protection. I'm aware of that. Yeah, he was under duress at times. I'm looking at certain things from a schematic standpoint. The one thing that stood out to me was how we were running our screen plays versus blitz. We were having our running backs release freely inside the core of the line of scrimmage without touching the blitzer. But those running backs were taking a little bit too long to turn around. So for Kenny, he's having to back up under duress, and he has no safety valve for the...
There were like 4 or 5 wasted plays like that.
So when I think of that, that's when I look and I say, I'm not going to blame everything on Kenny or everything on Canada, but it's certain parts where I say, yes, if I'm Canada, I'm asking myself, how can I offset some of the pressure that they're doing? Now, do I change it for my running back and say, hey, chip this dude on your way out like we see tight ends do? Travis Kelce, right? 1001, 1002, then release. So for the running back, if you're going to release in between the A gap, B gap on the screen, man, chip that blitz when he's coming in, then turn around and release. Or is it, hey, man, as soon as you see that color flash, you turn around and get ready because he's going to have to get that ball to you hot. You're the new hot receiver. Or is it running back? Instead of inserting through the line of scrimmage, fast release outside by the tackle, right? So if this guy's blitzing, Kenny can clearly see it. If this guy has to cover you, he's going to have to bail that blitz. Those are the schematic things for me that I looked and I said, okay, if we're going to make adjustments, that's an adjustment that we needed to make. We still saw that first half, and we still saw it, unfortunately, in the second half. So it was, like I said, blame across the board in this. But obviously, we know the lion's share falls on the quarterback because that is the most important position. He's going to be better. He got to be better. He understands that. This team understands that. Shoot, you even know that. Like, that's why it's like, bro, we're all on the same page with this.
I just can't believe. Here's the thing to me. I just can't believe the response from yesterday's game from everyone saying that Kenny ain't it and it's time to start Mason, because that was perhaps our worst O-line performance all year. Like, really bad. And then I think that was it might have been Canada's worst game all year too, with some of the play calling and schematics. Now, Kenny didn't do himself favors, because I will admit, I didn't like some of the checkdowns. I think he checked down a little too early, and I would have liked a little bit more playmaking. Like, those were the two things I took away that Kenny could have done better. But at the same time, there were, like you mentioned with some of these screenplays, there were like probably 4 or 5 wasted plays there, a couple balls batted at the line of scrimmage, and then did we have a drop or two? I can't remember. But no, there was okay, yeah, outside of the screenplays, there was probably 4 or 5 dropbacks that within a second or two, dude's under duress, running around and has to literally throw it away. So that goes as incomplete. Dude only passed, I think, 28 times. So if you add all that up, that's like 10 or 11 plays right there that are just, those are lost.
Yeah.
Right? But then the ones that he did have an opportunity, I do think got the ball out a little bit too quick at times on checkdowns. And maybe there's a play or two where he was scrambling. I would have liked to seen a play made. But, like, to just say Kenny ain't it from that, like, I would actually point to the Jaguars game on some of his misses in the Titans game and say those were worse Kenny
misses,
games.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
They were better offensive performances as a whole, but I thought Kenny probably played worse in those games and just what he left out there on the table. I don't think we gave him much to work with in this Browns game.
Well, we also, and this is what I was kind of referring to when we talked about just because the backup quarterback was playing for the Browns, I do think it changed expectations for our offense. When this whole time, we're not playing against the backup defense. We're playing against Myles Garrett, Zadarius Smith, and company over there. And we know they're a productive group. We know that they're one of the top defenses in this league right now. Specifically,
they're more healthy than us, too.
And that's the other part. So when I think of that, it's like, man, we could not forget that element. That was never going to change. We were going to be in for a dogfight, no different than the first time we went up against them. The big difference was just the ending of it in terms of the execution or the lack thereof in certain situations. But as a whole, man, quarterback is going to be better. Has to be better. If not, then yeah, we know all-season changes happen, or at least competition is brought in. But that's not happening off of that performance yesterday, because to me, like you said, Titans, you could definitely make the case, was worse in terms of just like the routine.
Yeah, we could have easily had 30 points.
Yes.
But we won. We put up 20 points as an offense. So I think it goes overlooked. I think it's just because the offense looked as it did as a whole.
Yeah.
People were searching for answers and looking to point to people. But if you just literally watch the game, I don't think Kenny had much, man, like on a consistent basis.
To it, and this is the thing. There are things that were not in Kenny's favor. The other part is the expectations of how people perceive Kenny. And this is what me and you have went back and forth on, where it's like one moment he's top 3. Next moment it's, finish out the game, clutch performance. That's all I care about. I don't care about the stats. And that's a wide gap in between. So you get half the people that would understand that, hey, man, it was just this particular part of the game where he didn't finish. But there were still other parts where it's like, all right, man, we've seen him play worse than that. Like, we not tripping on that. But then it's the other people that are going to say, if we're viewing him as a franchise quarterback, a QB1, he can't be one throw from Deontay Johnson at the end of the game away from ending 4 quarters of football as a starting quarterback with less than 100 yards passing. That's the part where they're like, yo, those things can't be the same, especially when we look at Kirk Cousins, Jimmy Garoppolo, Ryan Tannehill, and we turn our nose up at those type of quarterbacks. And it's like, man, we don't see a lot of those performances from them. That's the part where when we're looking at Kenny, it's like, man, we're not saying that you can't be that, but you're not consistently doing that. And I think that's more of the issue of why people feel so strong about Kenny. It's because it's like one moment we're like, yo, we feel great. We good. We got our guy. Then the next one we're like, bro, what are you looking at, man? He's wide open. But that's also when you're young, that's what you got to raise, your floor. So that way you're a lot more consistent and it's not this big drop off. But unfortunately for him right now, that's what he's struggling to do. And it's just so happened that you playing on a contender where we're sitting at 6-3 going into this matchup. And we're like, man, we should literally be on a 4-game winning streak, turn this thing to 10-3 and be talking way different talk. But instead, we're like, yo, we lost to DTR. And now we got another backup quarterback coming up next week. Are we about to have the same scenario? Which version is going to show up? That's all this is, though, man. It's a game we should have won. So when you lose them type of games, everybody reacts.
Yeah, and I get that because, my expectations for Kenny coming in. And even throughout the season, getting to see those fourth quarter performances that he's put on made me or enabled me to gloss over some of the other stuff because I do weigh that a little bit different than everything else that happens throughout the course of the game. It is what it is. So for him not to deliver that yesterday in the fourth, it is a little disappointing. And then whenever you combine it with the misses he has had in the Packers game or also in the Titans game, even the Jaguars game. No. So, he's just not playing that good a ball right now, unfortunately. But the thing I can hang my hat on is the things I have seen from Kenny in totality and coming up clutch in these game-winning drives more often than not. And also I've seen him make all these throws.
Well, and I was going to say, that is part of the saving grace.
He's very capable of doing all this,
I think it's a different conversation if we've never seen him make these plays, if we've never seen him produce in the clutch, and if we were not sitting at 6-4 on top of all this stuff. I mean, how many times have we been told that Kenny's terrible, Matt Canada's terrible, our team is terrible, Coach Tomlin's terrible, the defense sucks, but yet we're still sitting at 6-4. So to me, it's like, yes, did yesterday suck to an extent? Absolutely. Were there times we were all pissed off? Absolutely. But I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt and say, man, your overall, since you've been here, has been more winning than losing. Let's see where you can continue to grow to. And like I said, my message from early off-season, early in-season, bye week to even now is the same. Let's see what this season looks like with him and Matt Canada before we start doing long-term decisions while we're in the middle of an evaluation. Now, are we getting to the back end of this thing? Yeah, to an extent. We are getting a larger sample size, and that's why you get the people that, pull up the comparison, Zach Wilson, or then they'll pull up, this guy, and they're like, well, man, his numbers, this and that over this many starts. Oh, this doesn't look good. This young guy got more passing touchdowns. It's like, yo, this is what he's opened himself up to. But he still got how many games left in the regular season, right? You still got a 7-piece. A lot can change in terms of the narrative around Kenny Pickett. A lot can change with the narrative around this offense during these next 7 games. Now it's going to be up to him. It's going to be up to Matt Canada and company to make that happen. And I think if they want to keep their jobs long term, this is the run they're going to have to make. But I don't think that means, it's the end of the world. I just think kind of like what Bill Cowher said, man. Coach Cowher said, what? Y'all made it easy. We know exactly what we need now. You guys on offense, man, we know what we need. Kenny. Yo, you got 7 games, man. If you don't want them to bring another quarterback in here, a legitimate guy to either they turn the reins over to or legit compete with, you better step up these last 7 games, man. Because that's what it's going to shift to. They're going to start having them conversations of, well, he's still our guy, but let's get in somebody to push him. We've seen it with Drew Lock. We've seen it with Josh Rosen. I mean, we can go down the list of all these quarterbacks we've seen, that were deemed as first rounders or QB1 or potential franchise quarterbacks that eventually got passed up on, man.
No matter what, if the offense does continue like this, and just ultimately is a disappointment when the end of the season comes, like I want to see Kenny without Matt Canada. It's as simple as that. I want to see that. Now, to your point, if you want to bring in another coordinator, well, so be it. Whatever. Just give Kenny a chance with another coordinator. That's all I'm asking.
Because, see, I think for the people that are in Kenny's corner, they say give Kenny a chance with another coordinator. For the people that are in Matt Canada's, they say give me Matt Canada with a better quarterback. You had 39-year-old Ben Roethlisberger, Mitch Trubisky, who everybody says sucked, and Kenny Pickett, who people say sucks. So I think for both parties, it's like, I don't know who is who. But I also said that earlier, too, in the sense of like, yo, if you can't tell if it's more on coach or quarterback, and it's this type of scenario where neither has had success here where you got a lot of skin in the game, I think you do hard reset on both.
I guess you could say, though, you have more skin in on Kenny just being a first-round pick as opposed to Canada.
I mean, sure. But at the same time, the same way people are getting a little bit upset about us keep giving 22 opportunities over 30.
Oh, trust me.
Part of that is because it's a first rounder.
How much have you seen the social media stuff recently?
I haven't seen a ton of it, bro. I haven't seen a ton of it.
It's 95% get Kenny out of here right now.
Okay, I must have not seen a lot of it, bro.
Yeah, like, no one wants to hear from me right now. Yeah. City's turned on me again.
You the villain?
Oh, yeah.
You Dylan Brooks? They said Dylan Brooks the new villain out here, man. I didn't know if you was the villain like Dylan Brooks, man.
No, not like that. No, I'm the hero. It's almost like Batman.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm saying. You've lived long enough to become the villain.
Exactly.
Me now.
Yeah, it's like Batman.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's happened again. First is, in Ben's last season, whenever I was still defending him, whenever we got off to like that 1-4 start, I said we're still going to make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Ultimately made the playoffs. Yeah. And with Kenny, I get it. He's not as proven as Ben, but I do think he's got it, man. I truly do. And I don't think he was set up for the best of success yesterday. I'm not saying he played good. Trust me, I'm not. But I would like to see him under different circumstances. Now, I know that's not going to happen, and I do think going off of yesterday, that should be the low point for the offense.
That's how I feel.
That should be the low point going forward. Now, probably the lowest of lows was either that. Texans game. One of those first, 3 or 4 weeks.
Houston, but
for this second half, that should be the low point. That was probably the best defense we play the rest of the way.
And we talked about
and we
that
still had a
also.
chance to win. That's the thing where I wake up, I rewatch the game again. I'm like, yeah, this is exactly how we've written it up almost every game this season.
Seriously, man.
Keep it close, fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Come through in the clutch.
We even got the clutch turnover. Everybody keeps saying, how do y'all keep getting turnovers? Bro, it's not an accident, man.
More.
We
Trent
absolutely
Thompson,
should have.
what the hell, bro?
This is what we do. We are going to slowly choke you out, man. We going to choke you out. That slow bull constrictor. That's our vibe, man. We not the quick strike artists. We not a head start artist. Nah. But you see, we in every game. But with this approach, as we've said on multiple occasions, it's just a small margin for error. If one thing, whether it's a turnover or in this case, 2 wasted opportunities a little bit later in the game in terms of those drives, that's the difference between us getting out of that stadium or not.
Yeah, am I wrong? We're singing a different tune
1,000%
today. If we get that final drive touchdown,
Listen,
we win 13-10.
It's 3rd and 2. We end up getting sacked on the play, and that was, I think, the one that really took us out of field goal range on one of them last 2 drives. That changes everything because now you're playing 13-10 and you're up.
I don't think anyone actually thought DTR would take the ball down the field, final drive on us like that.
Think about it. It was a spin from.
He was terrible. He had
the first drive, which made sense, right? First time you're seeing him in stadium, athleticism, can throw, can run. They did a good job in terms of their play action pass. We weren't stopping to run those first 2 drives, so it made sense. But then we started to catch up on it, and I love what Patrick Peterson did. I thought he had another dope game 2 weeks now back to back where he's been playing really well. Outside corner, slot corner, and safety. Dropped the film session on him too, man, the other day, highlighting some of that stuff. But to me, it was a part in that second quarter where he picked up on they are not attacking us vertically. They're attacking us laterally through the air. And he started to play more aggressive on those outbreaking routes. I thought in terms of Terrell Austin, he started to call more stuff where the corners were going to be in the flats more. And it really mitigated what they were trying to do in terms of getting the ball out fast. I think they showed the stat was like 2.1 seconds they were getting the ball out, which is insanely fast. But when you realize that, it's like, we don't have to guard them with this type of respect. We can play this type of way. And that was why that offense for them died for second, third, and the majority of the fourth quarter until the third time they got that opportunity. And at this level, this is the NFL, man. If you keep giving teams opportunities, eventually they are going to be able to do enough to get in position to score. I mean, then we can make the case on how you feel about the illegal procedure that they called on Keanu for the fake,
we should have never let him go down the field.
You know what I mean? Place, but it's like, does that change it a little bit of a kick? Sure, but at this level, teams are good enough if you keep giving them opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. Yeah, they're gonna make a play here or there, and that's what I thought happened at the end. Even on that, but I definitely was not thinking he was really gonna be able to get fluky or even in joke. I'm like, bro, you done dropped all these other ones. Now you want to catch one? Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want me to hit some of these supers now?
Yeah, man. Let's tap into the supers. Unless you had anything else. Shout out to Boz. Shout out to Boz.
As always. Yeah.
Shout out to Boz. And good to see my man Danny Smith playing through adversity. You know, I was aware they said he had a torn rotator cuff from when he got ran over when Casey had to pick at the end of the Packers game.
Yeah.
So to know my guy was out there, you know what I'm saying, playing through injury, shout out to my guy Danny Smith, man. I'm going to chew extra big bubblegum for him today. Man.
AJ Martinez gifted a Moats membership to JJ Kennedy.
Man, shout out to AJ, rockstar at life, man. Definitely appreciate you, man, from the heart. Actually, I think it's a couple that might have came in pre-show.
Sure.
Yeah. What's the first one you have?
That was it. The AJ Martinez one.
Which version?
The first super is this Let's Go You Dub.
Okay, Deke.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. All right, so I got a couple in front of you there. All right, so first super came in from Red. Red had this on his mind early. It was about 12:43 p.m. today when he sent this one in. Like he said, he didn't want to wait.
He was thinking about it.
He says, since I won't be here to watch live, I want to hear Deke blame everyone else but Kenny. I want to see why Kenny doesn't see the field. So,
the blame's on everyone. The blame's on everyone on offense. I mean, miscommunications between Pickett and Deontay, that's either or. Offensive line sucked. Play calling, not optimal. Probably Canada's worst game. So, like, there's all those factors. Yeah, Kenny messing up. He missed some guys. I mean, it's out there. But, yeah, it was bad all around. I just don't think yesterday was the game to finally come to the grand conclusion that Pickett ain't it and we got to move on, draft a quarterback. I don't think we were giving him too much. I don't think he had
They have a running game for the first time, though, man.
We did kind of.
I mean, it
was Jalen Warren with that big run. I just feel like we probably should have went to him more and kept him in there as our RB1 because it does seem like, and this could be a knock against Canada too. Now, whatever way you want to flip this, because every time Naji gets out there, things just slow down and feels like we're in slow motion.
So I'll just say from personal experience, I know.
And I feel like they're keying in on Naji that we're going to run it. I swear every time he's out there, we're running it with Naji. 80% of the time at least.
Just personal experience, some of those decisions when you talking first round draft picks are bigger and above the pay grade of coordinators. I'm just letting you know.
Okay.
You know we've talked about this before. Yeah,
Either way, let's stop doing that.
It's certain things where, that's their biggest investment.
You literally heard the announcer say this plays in slow motion.
Right,
we handed it off to Naji.
Listen, we said the same thing, right? We was like,
and it's predictable.
When we watch, we always ask ourselves, if Naji had this ball, would he have went to the house? The run that Jalen Warren took 74 yards for a touchdown. If Naji Harris was running it, how far do you think he gets?
A first down, maybe.
That's the reality of it. So we understand that, one's a first rounder, one's an undrafted guy. So they do have to manage this thing very carefully just for the dynamic of the team and for that running back room, because you still do see where both of them do work well together. I think it was certain things that Naji does well in terms of taking some of the load off of Jalen, doing some of that body punching stuff. I still like when Naji is in pass protection. I think he does an excellent job there. But at the same time, we know, 30 gives us a lot more ability to have a home run threat, to have an explosive play. He said that toss play was nothing spectacular. It was nothing out of the ordinary, but it was a player stepping up, rising above, playmaking. And that's the thing that we kind of lose sight of this year in terms of, because our offense hasn't executed to the extent that we want to put more of this on coaching, where as when we talk about it, it's like, man, football is a simple game in terms of X's and O's schematics. But in terms of how you make it work, is your player beating that other guy in that one-on-one. Jalen Warren does an excellent job of consistently making dudes miss in the hole. He does an excellent job of, when he's out in the open field, man, making dudes have to open them hammies up, man, and sprint with it, right? But that's his consistency. I just think across the board, we got to get better with those type of avenues, man, for our offense to get to where we want it to be.
You see Naji's not happy.
And rightfully so. But at the same time, it's like, this is cause and effect. The only reason why this guy gets more reps and people are talking about him more and are more excited to see him is because of you not doing it with the opportunities that you were given. I mean, we could say the same even with, any of these dudes that we have seen get rotated out, right? Levi Wallace, we were complaining about him to an extent, right? Patrick Peterson, we complained about him to an extent. Broderick Jones, Chooks Okorafor, right? All these other positions we represent or we acknowledge competition. We acknowledge, if a player isn't playing well, it's like, yo, man, we got to make some moves. The first round element makes it unique because we know the investment. We know technically they're supposed to be the guys. So when it doesn't work for them, now it's like awkward. And I think with Naji, we're experiencing that. And I think to an extent, even how people are viewing Kenny, I think that's also part of the thing where it's like, yo, you can't bring competition or it can't be a switch or any type of openness to this thing because of the first round tag. And that's some of the politics part that comes with it. Can't hate it. It just is what it is. But I think for Naji, it's a similar thing. It's like, man, this dude is used to getting the touches. He's not used to splitting the backfield. He's not used to having to come out in critical moments or be viewed as the bad guy because the offense didn't execute on the last drive. 3 throws. They like, yo, why you ain't giving the 30? You like, dang, what Naji do, man?
Nothing. I think it's personnel issue. Let's just not put it in Naji's hands.
It's like, dang.
Leave Jaylen Warren out there almost all the time. When he's rolling, man, he's rolling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's one of those things. And then when you get Naji out there, I swear to God, tell me if I'm wrong. We're running at 75% of the time. And if we're not, Naji's not even a threat in the passing game.
Well, that's the issue. It's not that it's predictable that it's run. It's predictable that it's not pass. With Jaylen Warren, you don't know if it's run or pass because he can do
we're
both.
dumping off a screen to him, anything.
And he has the ability to take a 3-yard screen play 80 yards. You know, we've seen him do multiple things now where you really have to respect his ability. Whereas with Naj, when on tape have you seen him have an explosive run over 30 yards? When have you seen him make a guy, run up out his hamstrings? When have we seen him be like, you know what, I'm going to make these two guys miss?
He's got a couple hurdles and he's got a stiff arm or two as a highlight reel. Nothing
that is threatening from a home run capacity, though.
Right. No.
So as a defender, we're not trying to defend everything. He who defends everything defends nothing. Shout out to my man Dick LeBeau. That was one of the things he told me when we would have conversations about stopping offenses. And, I have all my questions. Coach, why you don't run this? Well, if we run this coverage, why won't stop that? How we going to stop this? It's like, Moats, you can't stop everything, man. If you try to stop everything, you're not going to stop nothing. So when Naji comes on the field, you play the probabilities. What are the probabilities that he can hurt me in the pass game? Slim to none. What can Naji hurt me with? Downhill run. So when I see Naji on that field, I'm biting on his mouthpiece. I'm ready to come downhill in his A-gap, and I'm saying if it's play action pass, I'm going to blitz it anyways.
Yeah, you're not worried about him going outside.
Right. Whereas when Jaylen is out there, I'm like, okay, not only do I have to worry about the run, and he's a shorter back, so I really got to be fundamentally sound because I might lose him back there. And he's fast enough that if I miss him, he gone. So I got to respect that a little bit more. He's also a threat in the pass game. So when he's out there, I also can't just say, we coming downhill. Because if he fast release, I got to chase that. And if he catch it and we chasing, man, you seen corners running after this man on that field.
I couldn't believe the 70-yard run. I was waiting for someone to tackle him.
When you go
I hadn't seen a run like that in probably decades from the Steelers. When you
go 70 in the National Football League, that's a different type of speed. That's when we used to laugh when people was like, yo, Juju's slow, and he went 99 in Detroit. We're like, no, It's too much speed across the board out there. Our big guys run fast. Man, I done seen Tua go get something. We done talked about Cam going to get something. Our big guys run fast. So it's like when you start talking about a dude being able to go that far, you like, okay, that's legitimate. That's big time speed. Jaylen got that. We know that's not Naj's game, though.
You see why I was talking about Abanikanda, though?
I definitely do. Because he does fit more in line with that, whereas for Naj,
could you imagine a Abanikanda Warren backfield for us right now?
Yes, but you can't sell that. You can't sell that when you got the first round as Naji. That's a hard sell to be like, yo, I'm going to go from my first rounder to Izzy, who is technically still a relative
Just
unknown.
Get Izzy on the field. That could be a quick sell.
That's a tough one, bro.
Deal with some bad PR for a week when you make the trade, but once you get Izzy on the field,
that's a tough one.
This play will speak for itself.
This first round, Naji. Like, when you throw a first-round tag on it,
it is what it is.
It's not when you throw the first-round tag on it. That changes the dynamic of how you handle it. Think about all the first-rounders, even the guys that were bust, the guys that didn't produce to the extent that we thought they should produce to. They still got every single opportunity because they're the first-rounder.
I get what you're saying because we do lean more that way here. I'm not saying it's the right way to do things, though.
And you know how
49ers, they moved off Trey Lance real quick.
Listen, from a personal perspective, I 100% back you on that because it hurt me at times in my career. And I'm like, bro, I don't like this. But that's the steal away. And I do understand if that's what you're going to say is your way, they are consistent with that messaging. And it's important to be consistent because when you do have to make these type of moves that we're even seeing in the backfield, it's like, man, we're going to do this, but we're still going to give you opportunity. So, we're not doing this because we want to. We're doing this because you've given us literally no other option. And when we're watching the running game, it's literally, you can make the case, no other option. If we want to look productive, explosive, and more dynamic, less predictable, put 30 out there. When you're trying to send a message and you want to just punch them in the face, put 22 out there. But I think you got to be real intentional about their usage going forward in order to make it the most optimal for not just the offense, but for Kenny. Because I think for him, he benefits also when he has 30 out there because it is an easier thing. Another fault that I had when we're talking Canada, right? Told you about just the schematics of the screen. The other part was I do wish he would have went to what he did versus Green Bay. Versus Green Bay when Kenny was struggling. He went quick passes to Deontay Johnson, turns those quick wide receiver screens, and he started fast releasing Jaylen Warren, not running screens, just releasing him, dumping it off, getting him in the flat, and let him make a play.
You can do that all day.
Easy throws that are high percentage in terms of he's going to make a guy miss and get positive yards. He's going to make your third downs a lot more manageable. I think that was one of the things that I would have liked to have seen Canada switch to when we're talking about the critiques. Like I said, it's not on one person across the board, but at the same time, we ain't going to act like Canada didn't have a hand in it either. I'm not about to be over here on the whole, hey, it was Canada. I'm not on that either. But, yeah, there were certain things where I'm like, yo, we could have been better here. That's the feel for it part that, yeah, we have talked about at times with Canada. I think for both of them, though, this upcoming week, they're getting back on that same page because this was the first time really in a couple of weeks where we've seen it look off again. It's like, yo, man, our receivers and quarterback, the timing is just off. Screen game, timing just off. Everything just looked just off, just a little bit off. And it's like, yo, even the back shoulder throws, the bread and butter. It's like, yo, just off.
Yeah, 3 or 4 times. Kenny and Deontay just
and
not
that
on.
Was the part where I'm just like, all right, is this just one of the ones today? But that's, part of what you got to think through also because we have seen the back shoulders work. We have seen him hit Deontay. We have seen just better usage of the running back room. But we still got to play better, though.
Yeah. Let's go, UW. Okay, Deke. Or wait. You still have more supers,
yes,
right?
Yes. Antimatter _ Ellie. Shout out to Antimatter _ Ellie. This was at 3:15, so they was a little bit beforehand. All right, a little bit before kickoff. It says KP8 has similar stats this season with more weapons to Duck with less weapons. I actually did not know that. Hopefully, they can find a Lamar like late in the first. Jaden Daniels. Oh, they hollering about the boy from LSU on you? Is that? Yeah, that's the LSU one. Yeah. Huh.
I'm not talking draft right now.
What about the first part when they said that he has the same stats or similar stats to Duck, but with more weapons? Fight for your dog, Deke. Fight for your dog. Get him up off of you, Deke. Get him up off of you. Don't let them box you in like that, man.
No, we knew when Duck's run was up. Yeah, I mean, like, come on. There's a lot more to be had with Kenny. There's a lot more potential to be there. And Kenny has just flat out played better than Duck Hodges in both their Steelers careers. We agree with that.
I'm with you. I mean, he's been asked to do more, too.
Well, I was going to say, that. I mean, he has been asked to do more, but also I don't think we're asking him to do a lot either, and that could be why his stats aren't anything crazy.
Yeah.
Like I just talked about it. He had 28 passes, about 11 of those dropbacks I think were just shot plays right there. So that's like 18 legitimate chances.
Yeah.
Throws for like 100-something yards in yesterday's game. Okay. I don't think it's anything crazy. Like, it's not mind-numbing. Like, oh, this is so bad. Probably had like 17, 18 legitimate drop-back opportunities to pass. 100 yards. Yeah, is it a little conservative? But also at the same time, that's how we're running things here.
Yeah.
Tomlin is just loving the strategy of don't turn the ball over. Play good defense.
Play defense and we in it.
Be 10-10, be down 13-10, whatever it is, fourth quarter, we're going to win.
Keep it one
And it's worked. Like, I can't even blame it, especially, too, with us going up against the Browns on the road, Browns with a good defense. Like,
it worked. work.
I understood the flow of the game all the way through. It's just we didn't put the pedal to the metal on those last couple drives. And that's the thing that really frustrates me. That was a win to be had.
We did everything right
by the
except
Steelers
the finish.
Tomlin formula in 2023.
Everything right except the finish. 100%, bro. It was there in terms of the 2023 version of the Pittsburgh Steelers, heart attack included. We had everything that we were looking for right in that situation. But this is also a learning experience. When we talk about this offense, we know progression is not always going to be linear. And we've talked about that also. It's like, they might take 1 step forward, 2 steps back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. You can make a case that, man, they had took since the bye week.
Yeah, a couple steps forward.
Multiple weeks they've taken steps forward.
This was a step back.
And that's fine. It's not the end of the world, man. It is not the end of the world. Now, don't make it 2 steps, though, right? It's like, all right, man, we fell down. Bro, brush yourself off. Let's get back up. Let's get this one this week because it's a great opportunity, man.
Now, I was saying this earlier, the whole, we're not asking Kenny to do anything, crazy. We're not putting him at, in harm's way or exposure. And this is another reason why this is exactly how Tomlin dialed up this game. Because you could notice as the game went on for some of these dropbacks, as I said, Kenny would be under duress immediately from Myles Garrett. So if we did ask Kenny to drop back 40, 45 times, dude might have been out of the game by the third quarter getting hit. Because Dan Moore, this wasn't a good Dan Moore game. I'll just put it lightly.
But you
even some of the interior as well, they took a step back.
But think about it.
So I think Tomlin was trying to limit the exposure to Kenny Pickett throughout the game.
You're playing against a front that, when healthy, is viewed like our front when healthy. We got a TJ, they got a Myles Garrett, right? We got a Alex Highsmith, they got a Zadarius Smith. Their big bodies in the interior aren't necessarily pass rushers, even though both of their interior D linemen, Dalvin Tomlinson and I'm drawing a blank on my other big dude. But both of the dudes coming into the game, I think one had 3 sacks, the other had 2.5 sacks. But they were definitely more of the run-stopping variety, 300, 330-plus dudes. So it's like, man, they're built to be bullies in the trenches. The same way we bully people in the trenches. It's just that, like I said, I think a lot of us changed how we viewed them when it was Deshaun Watson not being out there anymore. But that never changed that defensive front. It never changed the fact that we talk about TJ Watt as an alien, right?
There were games they were playing better with PJ Walker than they were with Deshaun Watson.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like, man, we know what that defense is capable of. We know what that team, they're 7-3 for a reason. It's like, they got their method as well.
It's still hard to accept, to be honest.
It's because the Browns. That's the big reason. But if you think about it, their method is not too far off of ours.
No.
They're going to play defense, run the ball, and try to minimize turnover, bro. That is literally it. They're sitting here at 7-3, and you look at both of them situations, you're like, yep. We messed the drive up at the end. Y'all made the drive. We caught the pick. We had an opportunity. So, we did. This was still a game. That's the frustrating part, because it was one we definitely should have won.
Yeah.
That's the frustrating part.
Back to what I was saying about Pickett, though, and Tomlin not asking, just Tomlin and, whether it's a combination of Tomlin, Canada, or if it's all Tomlin, whatever it is. Game planning going into each of these weeks and not asking Kenny to do anything crazy. Mm-hmm. It's fine for this year. To me, it's fine because I think we legitimately can win games that way.
Yeah.
I think why people are frustrated a little bit, though, it's tough to make the determination, is Kenny the guy or not based off that.
Is he the long-term guy? Yeah.
It's whatever. I mean, to me, though, if we are winning games, I think you just see that process play out, right? That it should play out before your very eyes.
Because to me, I think I understand exactly what you're saying, and in terms of that evaluation, it is a little bit different. And I think this is why you got to almost guard yourself against the narrative thought process, right? Because if you're trying to make it they're not giving him a lot because they don't think he's good enough to be that. Well, maybe if we drafted somebody that is better, then they would give him those opportunities. That's that narrative stuff, right? That's thinking one way. But then the other side is like, what gives this specific team right now the best chance to win? This is the approach. Because we do got to lean heavy on our defense. And we know the more they're out there, man, they're going to get tired eventually. That's not the best situation. We understand that with young quarterbacks, they turn the ball over. Heck, vet quarterbacks turn the ball over. We know that. So it's like, man, what can we do that is going to be sustainable and is going to help us be successful? And our approach right now is run the ball, minimize the exposure for Kenny, and let's ride on this defense. It's not sexy. And like we said, with this approach,
hasn't done us wrong up to this point, at least since the bye.
And the thing that's funny is this, man. I'm like, I talk about our margin for error being small because of that dynamic, right? Not trying to score a ton of points. We're trying to focus more on our defense. But the flip side is for the teams that try to outscore you, it's the same concept. I watch Buffalo week in and week out at times try to outscore teams. And if it works, we're like, yo, we love it, man. We done scored 30 again. But when you sit here and you 3 turnovers and you like, bro, we can't do anything right now because we're just reckless with this rock. That's not cool. That's not what you want. And that's the part where you're like, it's not sustainable. And that's why for me, when I'm looking at us here, I'm like, bro, yes, it's not what is deemed sexy in today's NFL, but winning is winning. And that has been the one constant and the one sustainable factor. So, like I said, man, you don't blow it all up because of
No, I think
can't blow it up because
I still think we're close. We just got to open it up a little bit more and really take advantage of opportunity. Like,
yes,
when you smell the blood, like, go for the kill. Like, that's what it is.
Times when we got it, and we got to execute it. Yeah,
and like, because we could keep playing this way, but still win by double digits. It's all in picking your spots, like in the second half.
I would agree, and we just missed some opportunities yesterday, man.
But hopefully, you know what I'm saying, though? I hope yesterday was a wake-up call to even do it a little bit more, though. Because we could have finished it out those last 5 minutes. But it's like, why can't we finish one out, like, late in the third quarter?
I would agree.
Almost like the Raiders game. We could have easily closed that out. We started playing a little conservative, or the Packers game. You know, we get up with all those nice offensive series, 3 for 3, get 17. Why can't we try to get like another touchdown or two, third quarter, go up double digits? Because we're close. We're really close. I do think we just need a little bit shift of a mentality.
No.
It's there. Like 80-90% of it's there. But let's go for the kill shot. Open it up a little bit more. Now, that could be a Kenny thing. Maybe he needs to let it loose. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't think we're that far off. Like this morning, that's what I thought. I thought of the Bill Cowher quote, actually. You remember from the podcast when he said, you're not as bad as they say you are, but you're not as good as you think you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not as bad as everyone's saying right now. Kenny's not as bad as everyone's saying.
A lot of times
Canada might be.
All right. And then the last one I had, this one came in at 317. So he was early too. Skydiving Heck. Shout out to you, Skydiving Heck. He says, I have a problem with Tomlin's smug response to the question why Warren only had 1 carry after his touchdown, saying he stands by the decision. I thought we were willing to turn over every stone in order to win games. ? Let 30 cook. I mean, part of it.
Only 1 carry? Really?
He played more. I think he might have only had 1 handoff, but I think we tried to get him in the pass game a little bit. But regardless of it, 22 got touches in the second half, if I remember correctly, after that touchdown run. So
they weren't good.
Yeah, but this is what we're going back to. It's like, we can make all these statements and we can try to use, the cool sayings to benefit us at certain times. But as we've already broken down, you also are dealing with people with emotions and feelings. And this is a first-round draft pick that you've invested a lot in. Regardless of what you might think is the cool thing, or I'm going to dunk on this player by just doing this and F it if he feels some type of way. That is not how you run a team. That is not how you run a successful organization. I'm telling you from experience. And the reason why the Steelers have been able to be as successful for as long as they have been, especially under Coach Tomlin, is because of how they operate like that. Will they be tougher on it? Yeah, but you've already seen them making the shift. This is 3 weeks now since we've, heard them make the case of, we're going to start getting 30 more involved. And we've been seeing more and more and more of 30. But like I said, man, when you're dealing with a first-round running back or a first-round draft pick that is within his 3rd year of being a first-rounder, it is not that cut and dry as, well, this guy plays better, so we're just going to throw him out there. That ain't how it works at this level, unfortunately.
Should we have made a move at the trade deadline?
I mean, well, think about it like this. For the people that are going to say make a move at the trade deadline for Naji, it's going to be other people saying you should have made a trade deadline or move at the trade deadline for a quarterback. Look at Dobbs. Look at DTR. Did you see Will Levis? No. CJ Stroud, even with 3 picks, still was fired. Like, that's what they going to say. So that's why, for me, I always try to just stay consistent. When I ain't want to trade Naj, when it wasn't, him blowing it out the water, it's like, I don't want to trade this dude either right now. But that's always my mindset. Once we get into the season, we all we got, we all we need, man. And that's how you lock in with this thing.
Well, we could have traded for Abanikanda. I guess the reason I'm saying the whole Naji thing is you think we're handcuffed to him because of the first-round pick stuff.
I don't think...
so even if we did bring in a new running back, we still got to give Naji carries.
Think about this. If Naji was an undrafted free agent and Jalen Warren was an undrafted free agent, after the preseason, would there have really been a conversation about who would be the starting running back? No. The only reason that this has ever been a conversation is because one is a first-rounder and the other is a undrafted free agent. If Jalen Warren was a second-round draft pick, it's a totally different conversation. Think about that, man. But that's the politics of professional sports. When we draft this guy in the first round and we say this is the guaranteed money and we parade you around and say, yo, this is the answer to all our questions. When we were complaining about running game, we say, yo, since L. Bell left, man, James Conner, you were kind of cool, but man, Ben is fine. We need that running game. Who did we pick? We got Naj. Picked him over Etienne and all the other guys, right? And said, yo, this is the answer.
Should have won Etienne or Javonte, huh?
We can't go back and change it. Hindsight 2020, we can't go back. But to me, that's part of what you do.
Or we should have drafted Creed Humphrey. Creed Humphrey and then Muth.
This is all hindsight 2020. We made the decision. We had to stick with it. Here we are. But that's what you're in right now. The third year is when you can see some movement, and we're seeing it, right? But at the beginning of the third year, we ain't see no movement. It was still Naji. But now it's like, all right, bro, we far enough removed that we can start playing around a little bit. We passed the bye week. We can start just, seeing what's going on real quick. Don't let it continue. Now this offseason, it might get real weird. But that's where he's farther removed. Whereas for Kenny, it's like, yo, you're in the second year of you being a first rounder. So in terms of their likelihood to make a decision in this shorter window, it's not the same because they're like, nah, man, this is our investment. This is our first rounder. We got to give him. I do think
quarterback, running back a little different too.
To an extent, yes, but at the same time, no. Because when we look at Zach Wilson, that was a higher pedigree pick. And think about his tenure and how he's been viewed. Sam Darnold, his tenure, how he's been viewed. So to an extent, sure. But if you haven't already accomplished something at this level, nah. And I think part of that too is him playing at Pitt, having the success that he did have, and then coming to the Steelers. We kind of view it all cumulatively. But at this level, we separate. We like, bro, we don't care about that. I do think
Kenny has played better than those guys, though.
That's a personal opinion. That's the only problem with it. It's like when we're looking at the numbers in terms of how we gauge the sample size, it's like it ain't a lot that's separating them dudes, man.
I get what you're saying, but Kenny is winning games.
Yes.
That is the number one. I know the wins aren't the ultimate QB stat. That is the ultimate goal for the quarterback, though.
100%. But people now begin to start the narrative of, are we winning because of or in spite of? And that's the part where you have to be careful because with Zach Wilson.
I've seen enough of because of from Kenny, though.
That's how you view it, though. The same with Zach Wilson. They've won games when Zach was at quarterback, and Zach even made a good throw on occasion. But they're like, no, they're winning in spite of Zach. That's what Kenny got to be careful about, man, because it's going to eventually get to that point where they're going to say, yo, they're winning in spite of this quarterback. When we look at all these other guys who, even if we call them garbage time stats, well, like, even their garbage time stats are more legitimate than what we're seeing in this dude's like full competitive outings. That's the part where it's going to get weird for him, man. I don't want it to get to that because then that means we're not going to be progressing the way we need to progress. But that's when we're talking about them dudes, them Zach Wilson types, where we're like, this is that danger zone a little bit, man.
Where you at?
In terms of
super.
Oh man, shoot, we caught up now. Back to Let's Go You Do. Yeah.
Okay, Deke, what is the excuse of the week for the second coming of Mark Malone this time? So much for Kenny Clutch. Time to start Mason.
Hey, yo, you won't lie. That's our second Mason that we didn't got already. God,
the line sucked. Dude was running for his life. Half his dropbacks. Yeah, but
yo, you won't lie. Hold on.
I'm not trying to excuse. I guess the reason why I am doing the whole Kenny defense right now is like this is how hard they're coming after him right now. I almost have to. I'm not saying Kenny played great yesterday or good or any he missed stuff.
Your thing is if you don't defend him, who is?
No one is.
I get what you said.
Literally no one is. God. So I got to stand up for my guy.
I ain't know they was at your man's neck like that. I figured it was gonna be on him. I didn't know it was like that today.
Like I said to you, it's just mind-boggling. They're coming after him for this game when I think he's made more bad plays that are like specifically on him in previous games.
Difference was we won them the other games.
We won the games, yeah.
And that was definitely
we
the
didn't get the final drive in this one.
That was definitely the difference.
I get it.
Yeah. Because think about it. If we flip-flop Titans and Browns, right? If Kenny doesn't make the play versus Levis, or Levis ends up making the play at the end, and then we end up making the play in this game, we just going to reverse how we talking about him. We would have talked bad about him versus Titans, and then we'll be talking good about him this week. So it's the same thing,
That's
literally.
how close these NFL games are.
And
Tomlin spoke the truth in his press conference. He's like, this is how I expected it to be. And then he also said they made a few more plays late, and we didn't. It was it.
Sometimes
he
it is
dialed
simple,
it up
bro.
that way. And
sometimes it's simple like that,
we just missed on some of our plays. And I was surprised because this is how we write it up. This is how we do things.
Yeah.
Greg Yeager, how big are the next 7 games for Kenny?
I mean, I think they're critical, man. In terms of him being able to come into this all season and feel comfortable and confident being QB1 and feeling like it's still going to be his team, these next 7 games are crucial, man, because if it continues to look how it has looked, or even if it looks like how it did yesterday and that continues, they're not going to have a choice. Their decision is going to be either you bring in one of these vet quarterbacks that, you know, potentially hit the market, or you're trying to figure out who you want to go after in the draft. But I don't want us to get to either one of them extremes just yet, man. So, yeah, I think these next 7 games are going to be massive for him. And not just from are you going to be able to start here? You're also in that danger zone of they're going to classify you as a career backup. When you get that opportunity to be QB1 or be the starter and you quote-unquote fail, they look at you one or two ways. You might get that extra opportunity, or it might take you some time. You think Geno Smith, it took him some time to get another opportunity to start, to prove himself. That's the other part for Kenny where he's going to have to be careful. So I think these next 7 games are going to be really, really important for him, man.
Yeah, big games.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, big games.
But we should be favored in all of them. I mean, you can make a case. Baltimore.
I think we're dogs against Bengals.
Get out
I think
of here,
we are.
bro. Get out of here,
I think
bro.
we are.
Stop playing.
I think I heard that this morning.
Stop playing. I'm not going there. Okay, regardless what Vegas says, okay? We feel like they should be favored in all, but you can make the case of Seattle and Baltimore, right?
Seattle on the road.
I say Seattle and Baltimore.
Baltimore's on the road too. Yeah.
Outside of that, you gonna legitimately come in here, me and you, and be like, yo, I think this is a game we should definitely be taking care of business in. Like, we should be the favorite.
We got
no debate.
Patriots, Colts, Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
And Bengals with the backup.
Yeah.
Seahawks, Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a game I'm missing?
Bengals twice.
Bengals again, yeah.
With
Bengals,
no Joe Burrow.
Bengals at home,
You see
no
what I'm
Joe
saying?
Burrow. I
I'm
think
like, bro,
is that Christmas Eve or day before Christmas?
Yeah, I'm like, man, everything that we want is definitely on the table. It's right there in front of us. But he has to light it up.
We just got to
light it up, but he has to
we
be
just got to
better.
win. Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, get to where we at 6-4.
Nah.
Well, at least 11-6 here, get in the playoffs.
No.
See what happens. Yeah, and just play better. As I mentioned, if you combine the last 4 games, I've appreciated the Kenny fourth quarter stuff, but I also have acknowledged he has missed throughout the games.
Yeah.
But now you combine that with this more recent performance with Brown. He just hasn't been stringing together good games recently. That's all. It hasn't been on par with what I expected.
That's it. Just the consistency, and that's why you feel strong about him still, because you still see him make plays. It's the consistency
especially in the
part.
clutch.
That's it,
like
man.
that's a big deal. I don't think it's something to overlook.
Just gotta be more consistent, man. I did want to have you check something real quick, because I have been seeing people talk about it. I know Miles Jack came in on a visit today.
We signed Eric Rowe.
Oh, okay.
The cornerback.
Okay. All right. So did we sign Miles as well? I think they said
It's looking like it.
he might be going to the practice squad if
Omar's listening to the podcast.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, but I did see people was talking. I'm like,
that was a Deke suggestion, no?
Yeah,
Can I get some credit for that?
So salute my dog Deke, man. One time for the culture.
I think that was. No one was thinking about him. That was out of left field.
Because I remember when you brought him up, I was like, yo,
official,
he retired,
48 minutes ago.
I like it,
Jack
man.
unretires, joins Steelers practice squad. That's a good move.
I like
There's nothing wrong with it.
Familiar? Yeah.
Like, he'll be our Quan Alexander replacement. I know I do think Quan Alexander's better.
I would agree.
But Miles Jack could at least give us some of that coverage stuff that we might be lacking with our current room.
And just another option. We know right now when it was E-Rob, Mark Robinson, and Mikael Walker, it's like, yo, they're very similar body types to an extent. And it's like, man, you still feel like you want to have a little bit more athleticism or something just a little bit more proven, right?
Absolutely.
And at least with Miles,
he was good with
this
us
guy
last year.
Barring him getting hurt,
yeah,
it was like, man, this dude played really well.
We just didn't want him back because of the contract.
That was the big part. Yeah. So for me, it's like, man, I love the fact that he's going to get another opportunity. He's at a position that we're going to need some assistance in. And at the same time, he's not being thrown out there as to be the guy either. It's like, man, we got a couple of guys already in there that at least can alleviate some of the pressure of you having to come right off the couch and be the man right now.
Farron Bradford, 8 needs to find a way to execute so he can be absolved some blame. Regardless, if we like the game plan, KP8 not executing the game plan. And let's not use the vanilla offense as an excuse. 8 must do the routine things routinely.
No, that's 100% the case. Just make the routine plays routinely. We all want to love the deep throws. We all want to love the back shoulders. But it's like, man, just hit your drags, hit your crosses, hit your slants, hit your ins, your outs, your comebacks, your stop routes. Doing those things, man, sometimes that opens up the big explosive play. But a lot of times it simply comes down to just the routine things, man, and consistently doing them. If it's 10 times, the elite guys make them throws 9 out of 10 times. The really good guys make it 6 or 7 out of 10 times. The average guys make it about 4 to 5 out of 10 times. The below average or bad guys make it 1 to 2 out of 10 times. That's the part for Kenny where he has to figure out where he's going to be at, you know, or how he wants to be viewed in the league. But that's, you know, what we're talking about in terms of just the consistency part with it, man.
Steve Dadick 3. This is my cousin that I visited down in Florida.
Shout out.
Sunny as hell today now that Deke is gone.
That's crazy. You brought out that doom and gloom down to Florida, man.
I brought that Pittsburgh weather.
I hope they got on you for that too, man. I hope they was just beating up on you the whole time. Like, Deke,
I was
bummed. All this rainy down here. Deke,
I mean, I was expecting the sunshine. It was really nice. I told you the beach is awesome.
Yeah.
I need that in my life.
Now, are you a board shorts, short shorts, or a Speedo type of dude when you're at the beach, man?
You know what? I got some pretty dope shorts, some versatile shorts.
Oh, all right.
I'll have to show them to you. They were really cool. Because I had to buy them while I was down there because I don't have swim trunks. It's crazy. I have a pool.
Bro,
I have a pool, but I don't.
You for a fact have a pool. I was literally about this. I'm like, bro, you have a pool at your house.
Yeah, but I haven't swam in it in probably 2 years. Yeah, I don't have swim trunks. So I bought these nicer. They're like versatile. Like you can wear them out. You can wear them at the beach. They're almost like chino short. I wear them to the golf course, honestly. They're sweet. They're real cool. I'll show you. Yeah, but I bought them down in Tampa. I bought those, and I bought some nice khaki pants, too. Splurged a little bit.
All right, let's go. Live it up there, man.
I had some nice fits while I was down there.
Let's go. Man, I ain't never questioned the drip. That's the one thing that's been consistent. The drip there.
Farron Bradford, keeping it a buck, he wasn't even draft worthy until his senior year when Addison popped off. Until that point, he was a mid-quarterback.
Yeah, well, either way, development is development. We can't minimize it and say that it was all Jordan Addison because Kenny still had to produce at a high level. He was still a Heisman finalist. Absolutely, man. Yeah, there's no issue when a dude develops. He developed. Ain't nothing fault with that, man.
Luke P. Kenny just not seeing the field. Missed a touchdown to Ted.
Yeah, he was wide open.
I'm getting sick of the all 22 breakdown from all these losers. Yeah, he was open. Sure, he was. Sure, he was. How about all the other ones when maybe some of these other guys weren't open?
Listen, Deke, that film, the gift and the curse, baby.
Oh, it was.
That
it was
the
open.
Gift and the curse, man.
It was open. You get my problem though. It's like let's not act like other quarterbacks around the league don't miss open guys.
Deke, this is the fight that I felt like I've had early on.
One play.
These are the fights that I feel like I've had at times about Matt Canada's scheme as a whole, and I'm like, well, yeah, you can bring up this play from the all 22, but it's like you're ignoring this and this as well. So for all the ones where they bring up the Kenny stuff like that, it's like, okay, yes, bring that up. We get it. But if you're going to do that, make sure you do the other side as well, man. But not everybody's trying to do it like that.
He was open. I mean, What can I say? Here's the other thing, though, and just not that plan per se, but just the game as a whole. People were talking, oh, Kenny ain't getting through a read or two. Like I don't think he has much time.
I was say,
he legitimately doesn't have time to get through these reads. Because on that play, I mean, there was pressure. I mean, you did see Deontay open, but if his first read was somewhere else, yeah, maybe he could have got to that second read quicker. But the pressure did get there somewhat quick.
Well, no, those are the parts where we're saying, who is he gonna be? Are you?
That's what I'm talking about with the playmaking. Yeah,
right. It's like, are you a manager? Are you a good? Are you really good? Or are you an elite? And that's the scale of which we got to grade him on. You know, it's like, yo, if we're going to view him as an elite guy, then you look at that play, you're like, yo, I don't care what you talking about. That's the play you got to make. Even if you looked over here, you still better come back and find it. It's like, yo, if we expected, like, all right, if that was his first read, all right, cool, you made it throw, great. Or if it's, if it's not perfect and everything is set up right, protection, call, coverage, well, we know, man, we ain't going to get much out of him. Those are just three very different levels of expectations, too, though.
Sure. Chill ZXYT. And that's the thing that's frustrating is because Kenny was, I thought he was way more of a playmaker his rookie year than some of the stuff he's showing this year.
I would agree.
Getting out of the pocket, looking down the field, making throws. That's the bummer because I think he's got that in him.
He has shown more of it, and I think that's why people have also talked about, has he regressed at times? And it's like, yo, I can understand where they might look to that, but at the same time, when I'm watching a guy going through development, at times, man, yeah, you going to overthink certain things. You're going to ask yourself, okay, if this is working and we're winning, does that mean I just do this, or do I still try to expand my game as an individual? And I think at times he goes through that. No different when you hear me reference Josh Allen a lot, because I think at times he still goes through that. You look at Joe Burrow, he deals with that at times. Where it's like, yo, you're trying to figure out, do I rise to this level even if it means I might potentially compromise my team as a whole, or do I stay here and kind of play through the system? And I think for Kenny, yeah, in college he was the guy. He could play make. I think at this level he's trying to figure out what level that looks like for him. And I think even when we watch him scramble versus pressure, a couple of times he steps up in the pocket, it's like, yo, these are good things right here. Then you get some times where he almost is antsy and he's like, are you worried about the rush too much right here? And you're not thinking that it's going to work out, that you have enough time. That's the part where when we're looking at him, it's like, yo, we need to see better in those spots too. It's not just the throws, it's the awareness, it's the feel for it, it's the how do you escape it also.
Yeah, I thought he improved that a lot his rookie year.
Yeah.
He had a lot more rushing yards his rookie year too than what he's on pace for right now. Yeah. It's just, there is something that's been a little bit off. Farron Bradford, on a positive note, E-Rob was born a Steeler.
Swear.
I hope he makes this his retirement spot. Benton trying to get an all-pro season his rookie year too. Mm-hmm. And 24 is strapped as always.
Shout out to all three of them individuals, man. I thought Landon Roberts obviously led the team in tackles, 15+. My man was out that thing hunting. And I love the demeanor, the physicality, because it was more of the intention. It's like, yo, you know they trying to run this rock. We know they got a backup quarterback, and they trying to send a message early. And I thought from start to finish, man, he matched that energy fully. Loved it. When you talk Keanu Benton, man, he continues to pop off the screen. Pass game and run game. My dude right here, man, is fundamentally sound, and he plays with great effort. That's the other part that I love. It's not just that he's athletic. It's not just that he's fundamentally sound. It's like, yo, he plays hard. He chases that ball, and eventually, man, don't be surprised when he gets one of them forced fumbles. No different. We saw Larry Ogunjobi a couple of weeks ago, right? Running on the field, getting a big hit. He's next in line because it keeps popping up on tape. And you don't always get it every single time, but if you do it enough times, you'll get it. And that's what's up. That's what's next coming for him. And yeah, I thought JPJ, he had Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper's a heck of a receiver in this league, man.
What, all he have one slant?
Perennial 1,000-yard receiver, all pro. And yeah, that's what it was, slant routes. They're like, yo, he's cooking them. I'm like, no. If all he's getting off are these little 3- and 5-yard slants, man, you can catch 10 of them. 10 5-yard slants. You know how many yards that is? 50. Not a lot. Never got beat deep. Never gave up a massive penalty either down the grass. I'm like, yo, JPJ looked beautiful to me,
I'm fine with JPJ getting a penalty or two each game. That's fine. It's his play style.
But look at the style of receiver he's going against also. Amari Cooper is not I'm going to just run by you. He going to get physical with you also. He got the penalty with D-Hop. Is D-Hop just going to run by you? Nah, D-Hop going to be physical with you as well. JPJ just a physical corner. He's like, I'm not going to let you bully me. So it comes with the territory. But as a whole, man, like I said, I'm loving what I'm seeing from him, man. Loving it.
Farron Bradford on a pause. Oh, no, I just read that. Let's go, UW. Even Naji and DJ are getting pissed at the play calling and the QB. I wouldn't be surprised if DJ asked for a trade in the offseason.
I mean, we'll see. He ain't said it on the show. I mean, obviously, we heard how he talked about both Matt Canada and Kenny Pickett to an extent. But until we
I think DJ, I know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
I think DJ was just defending himself. There was all 22 critic on Twitter, one of those guys, saying that DJ ran the wrong route on one of the Pickett passes, and DJ just said, I didn't run the wrong route. That's all he said.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. Or you know what? I think people are talking about the sideline exchange, too, that Deontay had with someone, and it led to him and Tomlin getting heated, apparently. Mm-hmm. Did we see that on the TV broadcast?
I don't feel like
I've just seen reports on it.
I saw the reports. I don't remember if we actually saw it. But, once again, a guy that's been down there with plenty of very passionate players, offensively and defensively, man, it's game day. You're going to get worked up at times. You're going to talk like that at times. Difference is we don't take it personal. So that's why it doesn't really become an issue. Yeah.
Naji's comments were interesting.
I mean, they have to be pissed to an extent. They got beat. Who's happy after losing? And you got media coming in here asking you the same nonsense or gotcha questions, trying to formulate a narrative, trying to see, hey, can we put this on Kenny or can we put this on Canada? And you got to answer it every single week. And if we win, oh, okay, at least we can say we won, shut the F up, get out my face. But when you lose, now they really want to double down on it. And then, like you said, you open up your social media, and what you see, even more of this stuff. So, yeah, I could definitely understand the boys being pissed off about it.
Okay, do you want to hear some of these Naji ones, though?
What do you give me, man? Because I saw some of his.
So, the one, you gotta, which one is it? Okay, he was asked.
Yeah.
Whether or not he feels like the play calls are predictable or like the defense knows the plays. Like he sat back for probably a good 8 or 9 seconds, gave a little smirk, and then just said, yeah, in some situations, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. And went on, I just don't know what to do. I'm stuck in this situation where I don't have an answer. And I don't have an answer to it. All I can do is ride the wave. There's more. Also said there's just a lot of stuff that goes around that you guys don't see. I guess I'm trying to say I'm just at a point where I'm tired of this shit. You could do two things. You could look at the record and say, okay, we're still good, right? Or we could look at the record and be like, if we keep playing this type of football, how long is that shit going to last? I look at it like, how long is this shit going to last? Y'all could look at it like it's a good record, but I mean, it's the NFL. Winning how we did, it's not going to get us anywhere. So is it fixable? Yeah. Are we going to fix it? Shit.
Sounds like a guy who is not the most happy with his current situation. If you think about it, right? Through the winning or losing, the one constant message specifically to Naji has been what? We don't want you here. You're not good enough. 30 is better than you. So I do feel like...
From who? The fans?
Fans and media. Let's not act like media don't be on the same energy. I think to an extent, man, he's pissed off with a lot of that stuff. When you hear him talking about the whole... It's certain things that y'all don't see. It's certain... That is more of that like, yo, are we getting to the politics of professional sports? That's how that sounds to me. But at the same time, it's like you're kind of benefiting from some of this stuff as well. But I think for him, he wants to be successful. Any player that make it this far want to be a part of why we're successful, why we're winning. And when he's looking at this thing and he's saying, man, what was his stats yesterday?
Not good. Like 12 rushes, 30 yards.
12 rushes, 35 yards, 1 catch for 1 yard, right? The same way we looked at Devontae Adams a couple weeks and was like, yo, he said, man, we winning, but I want to be a part of it. I want to be one of the reasons why we're winning. I don't want to just be along for the ride. I think to an extent, Naji does feel like that because he has shown that he is capable. But right now, it's kind of shifted. Right now, 30 does give you the best opportunity. And you might not agree with it. But if that's what the mindset is from upstairs and that's what they're saying we need to implement, you're the collateral damage right now. And I think for him, that's something that might be new for him. Typically, when you first round, you don't have to deal with this type of stuff. This is like 4th, 5th, definitely 6th round. This is 6th round and stuff. You deal with this a lot. You be like, yo, you somebody else the man 2 weeks ago. Now I'm benched. Like, wait a minute. But I can still come back in 2 weeks and get it right back. he just handling it. But the difference is they don't put the mic in front of the 6 rounders all the time. The first rounders, you got to answer for it every single time. And I think for him, yeah, it's weighing a little bit more, man. And especially when you throw in a loss on top of that. I get part of what he's saying, though, in terms of is it sustainable? That part does go back to what we've been talking this whole season, though, in terms of quarterback and coordinator. And that's still a big question. The difference is because he's more frustrated, and I think for him it's more personal because of what's going on with him. I think that's why you heard it specifically from him, that type of talk coming out. You said with Deontay. GP, I heard GP's response. Shoot, GP was funny. Man, we woke up this morning, bro. We all right. It's a great day. It's like, yep, media training. Burton got to you, baby. Salute you. I love it. Nah, it's just like, yo, you ask me this every week. I get talked to every week. I'm pissed. And to me, I just think he just gave you I'm pissed, or let me tell you how I really feel right now, but I'm going to protect it a little bit. I ain't going to go all the way there, but I'm going to go enough that you know something's up. I don't fault him. Is it the best? No. When you hear him say how he said it at the end, are you going to fix it? We can go one or two ways. I think it's going to be this. When you say it can go one or two ways and you choose the negative way, as a teammate, how do you think that makes me feel? If I'm your coach, how do you think that makes me feel? Because it comes off as you've checked out. If you checked out now.
Almost like the Chuk stuff, to be honest.
Okay.
Seriously.
Okay.
It's almost the exact same, because that's what Chuk got benched for. He's like,
yes.
let's just give up the game. Let's kneel this out.
That's literally the difference. So it's like, yo, are you a hostage or are you a volunteer? When you start saying this super pessimistic stuff, regardless of how you feel in the moment, when you put that message out there, this is the cause and effect of it. Now everybody is talking about, yo, how does Naji feel about this, man? Does that make sense to have him here still? Do you still, kind of play to the ego a little bit of the first rounder? When you make them type of statements, you kind of open yourself up to some stuff now.
No, we can't do that. We can't do that. We can't. If you're going to do it to anyone, do it to Pickens, because he deserves the ball more. But
I know, but I'm
not
just saying, it's like this. But with first rounders, this is some of the stuff that you got to question. It's like, yo, he's complaining right now, right? We've publicly heard it. I'm not making this up. You didn't make up them quotes. Those were quotes that you read directly from him.
Might be Melvin Ingram time.
Right. So we like, okay, are we going to feed your ego and make you feel better about the situation and try to make it go through you a little bit more? Does that help out? Because remember, he did go in the offseason, or not the offseason, during the bye week. He was one of the ones, him and Mason Cole, documented. They said they went to Matt Cannon and they had suggestions on the offense. And we talked about how we saw the offense improve and all these other things. And we also saw Naji improve. Mm-hmm. But this was also, you can make case this, because even last week you thought he played well. This realistically the first not hot game that he's had probably since the bye week.
Jaguars game was bad for both running backs.
Yeah.
But that was, again, Kenny getting hurt.
Yeah. So that's the part where I'm just like, all right, is that also playing into your feelings of what you're saying out there? Because we typically haven't heard him go full on negative like that. That was like super negative.
No, in fact, it was the opposite about a month ago, where he said, it isn't on the play calls, it's about the players. We got to execute.
Yeah, he literally had like two.
He's been gradually getting to this point, if you think about it, because he started off saying it was on the players, but then they offered suggestions to Canada at the bye, him and Mason Cole, like you said. Yeah. Now it sounds like he's full out like, this scheme ain't it. Yeah. Because I do kind of agree with what he's saying in terms of the predictability or knowing the plays, because when he's out there, I don't think I'm wrong. 75% of the time, we're going to run it with him. Or he's not going to be a threat in the pass game. So that minimizes him, and that's why he's frustrated.
That's why he's frustrated.
But at the same time,
is that a scheme
Jalen
thing?
Warren's just better for the offense.
This is my thing, though. Is that a scheme thing or is that a personnel thing? When we say if Naji is out there, is he a threat in the passing game or is he a threat in the run game? And you sit here and say, without a doubt, he's a threat in the run game and not a threat in the pass game. If it's a pass, he's in protection.
And it's pretty much on the inside runs.
So how are we going to say that that's on Cannon and that's predictability? It's like, no, that's not predictability. That's just, if I'm at the NFL level, I can read personnel. I'm not an idiot. Probability.
Well, yeah, you've mentioned that you think that's above Canada's pay grade.
That, like I said, from personal experiences, is certain parts where, we
almost need a documentary on this season.
No, these ain't the seasons you want documented, because this is when all that negative stuff come out, and then they be like, hey, man, see what happens when there's adversity? It's like, yo, who wants that? Get us back to on a dope vibe, man. What?
Q. Takeaways from the game. Defense played great. Shout out to Trent Thompson. Jalen Warren playing like the second coming of Barry Sanders. Offense sucks. Canada sucks. Kenny is a back shoulder throwing merchant.
Dang. The back shoulder merchant.
I mean, I feel like we should have done that a lot more. I think it would have got the offense going. Just keep throwing to Pickens the whole time.
Yeah.
Doing that stuff.
How many targets did he end up with yesterday?
Probably like 2.
So let's say, because I feel like he got a lot of work.
What do you have? 2 or 3 catches?
No. He had 6 targets. 6 targets, 4 catches. All right. He had a run. Guess they called it a run.
AJ Martinez says 1A, bring back 7. 1B, attention to details, unknown. 1C, start 2. 2. All right, so those are his, like, wait, what? If you bring him back 7, you're not starting 2. He has a 1A, 1B, and 1C.
And then he has 2. Yeah.
And he's starting with 2.
He said definitely said start 2.
Number 2, cut 10. 3, oh, maybe he's saying go from one of these number 1 options, then do 2.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's almost like a little maze. Like you pick 1A, B, or C, and then you go to 2.
All right.
So I would pick 1A. And then 2 says cut 10.
Mm-hmm.
3, save/bench 8. Leadership is a question mark. 4, draft a running QB. 5, change the blocking scheme. 6, no blocking. 7, no blocking. 8, change the OC. C. No. Get the Bills OC. No, I don't want him. No.
All right.
No, I'm good on the Bills OC. But bring back 7. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Never 7's fault. I mean.
So 7 at this stage is still better than Kenny. Here's what you telling us.
Listen, I'm never.
That's what you just told us,
I'm never
bro.
going to deny bring back 7. I'm never going to deny that.
You said it. I ain't say it. This 7 at November 20th, 2023 is a better option for the Pittsburgh Steelers at quarterback than Kenny Pickett. That's fine if that's how you feel, man. You did say that though.
I'm not going to deny that.
Wow. I did not think I would get that today. Whoa, Deke.
I'm not going to deny that.
Yo, Deke. Are we there?
Well, I thought
we full on went.
Well, trust me, I thought Kenny was going to be playing a lot better this year. I did. Because you remember we were trying to have this conversation before the season. I was like, you know what, it's Kenny's time. Let's not drum this up.
Yes.
It's just, but
you said
yeah,
right
there's
now,
not a doubt actually in my mind.
Podcast been with fake Deke.
Yeah, there's not a doubt in my mind.
Oh,
I mean, come on.
God. I was not ready for that, man. I did not research enough for that one, Deke. I was not ready for that.
There's not a doubt in my mind. That's not a shot at Kenny either, but.
All right, now you, with all due respect, me in the middle of it. I'm all right. Now
that's not a shot at Kenny. It's just.
Can you explain that one to me?
I do think Kenny's going to turn around, but I mean, we're talking about 7. Like, come on.
Explain to me, please.
I told you last year if we had 7, we might have. I think we would have won the division last year if we had 7. This year, if we had 7, let's see, what would he be? 41, 42. Yeah, I mean, we'd be.
This is my thing, Deke. I would never.
What's our record? 6-4.
So this is my thing.
We'd have 2 losses max.
I'm not tripping on you
7.
always wanting 7 because that's always been consistent with your messaging. You've just never said that you would take 7 specifically over Kenny. You said that it was always, this is Kenny's time. Kenny's the guy. I'm gonna let Kenny go.
I was being.
I'm gonna ride out with Kenny, man.
Nice.
I ain't about to cut him off. Nah, man. 7 is 7.
Kenny needs
8
some
is
tough
8.
love right now.
That's what you told me. So that's why I'm just so surprised.
I was being too nice.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not shocked that you love. Like, yo, 7 has been your guy, but you just have never crossed the 2. This is the first time we getting this, man. Like, you for real, bro.
Well, wait. To begin with, I never want a 7 gone. So like, if you were to ask me at any point, yes. Like,
but once it was ruled that he was gone and we drafted Kenny, we had came back both. Even last year was like, yo, would you switch? He was like, nope.
Well, I made the statement many times, bring back 7 last year. But then I did the all due respect.
Yeah, you would say with all due respect. You say I'm not doing it and saying take Kenny away, but you're saying that this dude...
We should always have Ben back for this year, this and that. Now, I will agree. I think we both can agree with this. For the offseason, heading into this season, that was when I was like, this is Kenny's time. Kenny. I'm not going to answer this.
That is what you said.
I'm not going to answer this, but this is just Kenny's team, his time. Let's just let it play out. And I thought, I mean, what was my take heading into the season? Top 3. I mean, I thought he's going to be in the elite of the elite.
So think about, we're going from top 3 in the current NFL to 7, and shout out to 7, man. He's been doing his thing, man.
Maybe top 3.
But it's like we saying get 7 off the podcast couch with the drinky drink and go ahead and throw him out there. He better than that. Like, dang, man.
Yeah, we have 2 losses max if 7's on this team.
All right.
2 losses max. Way better. This is a way better defense than what he played with last time out. Better O-line. Better weapons. Yeah, and you have Jalen Warren instead of Naji Harris.
Yeah.
Darnell Washington, big red zone threat.
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
Come on, man. I mean, I don't hate it. It's just shocking.
What's so shocking?
Because you said Kenny was top 3 going into the season. And now here we are 10 games in, and you like, bro, I'll take 7 off the couch right now. But I'm like, God dang. Like, that just is it's a very steep fall from grace, you know? It's not like we saying, all right.
No, I still got faith in Kenny. Because you're just asking me, what would I do?
Like, if it would have been a time, you'd have been like, man, I would take Tannehill over him right now. I'd take Cousins over him right now. I'm like, you know what? All right, I can get that.
Kenny?
Yeah, I was like, I can get that. If you would say them dudes, because like
I don't want them.
See, all right, I'm confused again.
I don't want them at all.
All right.
Get them out of here.
So no to them dudes, yes to 7 off the couch.
Yeah.
But if no to Kirk, no to Tannehill, no to Garoppolo types, what about Kyler Murray? He threw a nice little touchdown pass yesterday.
Let the season play out for some of these other guys.
Okay.
Let the season play out.
Okay.
I can give you some more definitive answers.
Like I said, I just did not know you was there with 7 already. Like,
I can give you
him now. That's what made me like, all right, well, as we open this box up, let me just start throwing names out. I'm just, Mason, Mitch.
No.
All right, nothing in house.
Hell no.
Okay, nothing in house. Okay.
No.
Okay. Dobbs.
No.
He's homegrown.
No.
He's a full blood too. Ooh, he's one of us. One of us.
No.
One of us. No.
He's benefiting from the Vikings. Swap the roles. I'd like to see what Dobbs does here with Canada.
I hate Kenny says Justin Fields. What about Fields? He could definitely be in the market. He could definitely be on the table.
Fields or Kenny? No, we're rolling with Kenny, man. We're rolling with Kenny. You're talking about 7 though. Like that's you get the levels.
But
of this.
It's 7 that's been retired and been podcasting, not 7 that's been active and been playing.
Well rested.
Or comfortable, not in playing shape, not in playing mentality. That's so I'm trying to give you just active dudes that we can just spitball against. I seen Joe Flacco got signed to go to the Browns. What about Joe Flacco? Would you know Joe Flacco?
No.
You ain't feeling Joe?
No.
Joe's a Super Bowl champ.
No.
He's big. He's done big winning.
No. He's terrible.
But he did the big winning. He's shown that he can get it done. You told me that that's the great measuring stick. Can you do it in the postseason when it has to happen? He did it versus an elite Niners defense.
It was a good run for him. Lucky run, whatever you want to call it. But hell no to Flacco.
Okay.
No, yeah, 7 would be the guy. Yeah, some of those other names you might let the season play out. No, I don't want him.
Okay.
Let the season play out with Kenny. I'll give you more definitive answers on some of those guys. You're talking about like Kyler Murray, the guys in the top 10. Now I know I said
bringing us some names. Yeah.
What was it? 2 weeks ago I said Kenny in the top 10. Like I'm still not too far off. You get what I mean in terms of
Fair enough.
I said it a couple weeks ago. I can't let yesterday's performance take me off that.
It's just when you said 7, because 7 has been retired. Like I've seen somebody say RG3.
Come on.
You catch my drift?
Come on.
But when we talk about non-active guys that have been, it's taking time now. It's like, all right, is RG3 a name?
No.
High pedigree guy?
Absolutely not.
Well, I was just
absolutely
never
not.
know, man. Just figured I'd ask.
Come on, we're 7 versus RG3.
Well, man, we not talking 7 versus. We talking 7 or RG3 versus Kenny. That's what we talking about. So that's when they said it, they keep saying Herbert too, but I'm like Herbert's expensive. That's like you got to sell the farm. But hey, who knows?
Let the season play out.
Yeah, we don't got to.
I have respect for some of the guys you've brought, like Herbert for sure.
Okay.
But if the season plays out, like I think it should still, as we both mentioned, everything is out there in front of us.
Yeah. Bro, I seen Cam Newton name just pop up, man.
No.
I seen Colin Kaepernick name just pop up. No. Deke, get him off your head, Deke. They playing with you out here, Deke. No. They trying to play with you, Deke.
I clearly see the talent of her. I see, trust me, there's a lot of quarterbacks that are good in this league, but I'm not backing off my Kenny take. I'm not. I'm going to stick with it. We got 7 games.
Plenty of time.
I already put him in the top 10. He's not going to play himself out of it. Now, some may think after this Browns game he already has, but some may think he should have never been put in the top 10 as well. But let these 7 games play out.
All right. I like it. I like it, man.
We're going to be where we need to be. Now, I don't have a lot of faith in Canada. But
hey, yo, why y'all playing Jim Ruger? You out of pocket for your comment, man. I'm trying to stay focused. Y'all funny. Shout out to my dog. It's for all the dogs. Shout out to Drake. New album. I see y'all talking Mike Vick too. Leave me alone.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, I'd bring back 7.
All right. Shout out to AJ Martinez for that one, man. Shout out to AJ.
That would be my 2 solutions are fire Canada and also bring back 7. If you're asking me like fix the offense right now, bring back 7, fire Canada. I think you do both at the same time because I'm almost damn sure 7 would want Canada back calling plays. Ryan McPherson says, I'm done with Kenny Pickett. Please respect my privacy with this decision. Oh, he put that in quotes. And then he said, cite KPA for life, ride or die. QB1, for real, no cap, loyalty. This chap is tweaking.
There it is. Give me a little Snoop Dogg right there, man. I like it, man.
All right, hold on. Let me get caught up here. We got Alpha God 256. Is it me or did Kenneth forget how to audible when seeing certain coverages? Or did really Canada
my man Kenneth
put him on a short leash? Or should we draft a QB in the 2nd or 3rd?
Sheesh. I mean, we did see Kenny check in certain plays, though. I did like that. Thought he had some command, pre-snap, and stuff like that. The execution was just low off. Did he put him on a short leash? No, I don't think any of that was it. Play, because like I said, we definitely noticed Kenny multiple times get up, either check something, say something to the back, and things like that. So I do feel like they are continuing to allow him to have some freedom at the line of scrimmage. Now, it's not in the true sense of full autonomy to call anything out the playbook, but at the same time, I don't think he's earned the right to have the full autonomy to just call whatever out the playbook. I think right now we're still seeing, the run pass concepts. All right, if box count is this and this is what you're looking at, these are the plays you can check to. If you get this as your look, these are the pass plays you can check to. I think until he can consistently maximize those opportunities, I don't think you put more on his plate. I always look at how we've handled Jaylen Warren. We're to the point where we are like almost yearning for Jaylen Warren to get more opportunities because we've seen him produce so much with so little opportunities. With Kenny, that hasn't been the case. With Kenny, we've seen him be able to throw it 50 times. We've seen him be able to throw it high 40s or even 30s. And it's like, he wasn't playing optimally when he was doing those things, so we dialed it back. Now we're trying to see, can he consistently get back to us expanding some of that stuff? So I don't think this is a short leash. I just think for him right now, he's having to prove that he is actually good enough and deserving of having, a little bit longer of a leash. But that's this league, man. And he's a young player. It happens with young players, man.
KD Swag. Tomlin needs to be held accountable for this bad offense and his coaching decisions. Everyone, I'm just telling you, he actually loved how yesterday's game played out. It's just unfortunate we didn't win. Like, that was how he dialed it up.
Already, though, bro. Already.
Everyone talks about that run we went on last year. Name one good team KP beat last year. KP is the biggest problem. Well, that Ravens team, I know they didn't have Lamar, but they should have beat the Bengals in the playoffs if it wasn't for that fluky fumble. Like, that was still a good team.
Yeah.
On the road?
I'm with you, bro. You already know how I feel about it, man.
Is there any other teams that were decent?
This is the National Football League. I always look at it like that. I don't care when people.
We were the underdogs in all those games too.
Okay, like I said, people convince me with this. Oh, that team sucks. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever.
Panthers weren't
say
trash.
What you want to say, man. Yeah.
Panthers were maybe a top 20 team.
And my other part is, so are you supposed to not play in those games because the opponent, to that person's perspective or that person's feelings, isn't formidable? Do you just not play it at all? Does it not count all of a sudden? That's not the case. They all count. So we can't minimize or maximize a performance because it's convenient for our argument. It's like, it's a regular season game, right? So it's a regular season game. Check them off. One of the ones you're supposed to win, man.
AJ Martinez, this year's defense can get us a Super Bowl like the Ravens, but we need an offense that doesn't look like an 8th grade on a JV team versus the varsity. I still have some questions about the defense. It's mainly because of injuries, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see how the inside linebackers play out. Obviously, we're getting Minka back, but I like us on the front seven. We've been lacking in the pass rush, though, recently, these last couple games.
Well,
I like the JPJ starting. He's been locking up.
Though, the Browns kind of decided that we're not going to allow TJ and Highsmith to beat us. We're going to make your interior guys beat us. And for the Browns, where's the strength of the offensive line? The interior portion. So I think in that vein, it worked out well for them yesterday. But, yeah, that's going to be what we face because teams know that gives us our best chance to win. When TJ and Highsmith can get going, man, we are a totally different animal in terms of play in and play out and splash play creation. So to an extent, yeah, that has to be more consistent. But when you have some of the injuries that we've endured at the linebacker spot, the corner spot, at the safety spot, and then you play the game and you drop another guy in that process, it's like, yeah, man, you're going to have some holes. You're going to have some misses, some miscommunication, we don't play this the same way. We're not seeing this the same way because we're not used to playing together. And I think we do experience that. But yesterday, man, I still felt like the defense, outside of that opening drive, I feel like the opening drive and about a little bit of that second drive and obviously the last drive, they were doing exactly what we knew they were capable of, and it was nothing different.
Yeah, defense played good. I mean, they're going to be the things that are one of the main reasons that we go for it, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, the defense has been showing up, but I'm just bummed out at the inside linebacker situation and how we got those injuries.
Yeah, but
so it's like if Miles Jack steps in and is looking good,
we can get right back to what we need to be, man.
Minka gets back.
Yeah, like I said, we know we have reinforcement. Minka will be coming back, right? He's not gone forever. Keanu, I was a little bit saddened to see that he got put on IR. Mm-hmm. That did kind of catch me off guard, but it's like, man, all right, we did get Cam back. That was a boost. So it's certain things where it's like, we do feel like we're going to have some guys coming back and we should be fine. I mean, it was a chance for Mika to play this past game. So we know he's really close to getting back out there. But yeah, man, I'm with you.
So we're at 5:53. How much time you got?
Man, let's just keep powering through, bro. We're going to be all right. We'll power through. Y'all hit that like button one time. Don't forget to subscribe. We're going to power through.
A2A style bros, how much do I need to pay on the super chat for a full-blown phone call? I need to speak, not swipe. For real.
Man, if it worked that way, unfortunately, I don't think we would be able to keep it consistent because then people are just going to start dropping big money to get on the call. And as a business person, I'm going to be like, you know what? This business model works a lot better, but I don't think y'all going to like that as consumers. So, yeah, we can't do that, unfortunately. But when we will open up the phone lines again at some point, make sure you get right. 828, absolutely, baby. But it's all love, man.
CDez86, if we're going to go all in on Kenny, we need to collect draft picks and clear cap. We need to sit KP otherwise because at the moment, he ain't ready. I don't know if I'm understanding what he's going with right now.
Because even if you're going all in, you don't have the time right now to collect draft picks. That wouldn't happen until the offseason. And then in terms of if we're not going all in, sit Kenny, I don't think you can make that determination right now because you're still in the heart of his second year in the evaluation. Before you can
no matter what,
no
matter if you're a Kenny hater, you're a big Kenny supporter in the middle, whatever, like you want to see Kenny play out the rest of the season.
Yeah,
no matter what,
you gotta have that to at least feel confident with the decision that you're gonna make. If we were to just say, you know what, I washed my hands with Kenny today, I'm still gonna have some parts where I'm like, yo, it still feels a little bit incomplete. if we said, man, we're going to make him the full-on guy and we're going to fully invest in him, I'd be like, yo, that's a little premature. Still like, so it's like, yo, let's see these last 7 games.
Playoffs potentially.
That's the part. It's like, yo, because we're in the heart of it right now. So it's like, yo, these last 7 games are going to tell us a lot. If you do what you're supposed to do, we will be talking postseason. And it's a totally different conversation and evaluation, right? But if you don't do that in these next 7 games, then it's like, all right, we're going to be looking at you in a totally different vein. And that's what we don't want to get to, man. We do not want to get to that.
Brent Fox, Moats, thanks for being so level-headed about this year's team. Deke, I also appreciate you coming to your senses. 2-1 for show.
Oh, you already know Mr. Brent Fox, man. One love with you, baby. We definitely appreciate you. And I did want to say I saw 828 Style. He pulled back up to let you know or to let us know that he was willing to pay about $500 just to hop on the phone line. That's what I be talking about, because not everybody be having the same level of compensation or disposable income. So we try to make it, no paywall. You get to come right in. And if you want to super chat and you super chat a little bit more, you see how we prioritize. You drop that $100, be like, all right, look, man, we talking to you. I don't care. All right. But we get it. Not everybody has those disposable incomes or disposable funds. So that's why we don't want to make the phone lines a monetization thing like that, man.
Young and Real says I'll pay a stack to talk some sense into Deke.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, because I can see myself like, yo, if I really felt like I was this invested in him, like, you know what, man, here, take this, bro. I got to get this off my chest, man. Imagine if they opened up First Take and was like, yo, highest bidder, you get a chance to talk to Stephen A for, 5 minutes and debate him. It'd be people dropping some racks on that. For a fact, they would, man. For a fact.
Tyler from the 334 says my $5 supers would be obsolete.
Yeah. See, we trying to just show like, yo, it don't matter if it's $5 or $100 or whatever y'all pay. Like, yo, we gonna get to you, and this is the way we get to everybody, man. But yeah, if we change that, man, Deke, it's people that every single episode they be like, yo, let me get a chance to get at Deke. Let me get a chance to get at Deke. You don't think if we say, yo, all right, if y'all pay X amount of money, you can get the Deke, man, we be over here like, yo, we can't get the phone to stop ringing, Deke. So yeah, man, we just we go vibe out, all right.
Tyler from the 334 also says, let's hear from 828. It's got to be better than Big Excuse Deke.
Oh. He said, we're going to have our phone lines, man. Y'all know we typically do a lot more phone lines in the offseason, too. But we're going to get the phone lines, man. It's Thanksgiving week, too. Because I was like, yo, we hit it at the end of the week. But then I forgot. This week is kind of weird right now. Yeah.
Calmon, at the very least, Kenny isn't progressing like we thought he would. He's running Canada's system, though. I hate to be that guy, but it's not all Canada. But Canada's offense has been shit. How did he get hired? Well, that's a great question. I mean,
no, that's Kenny's guy.
Canada. No, this is Tomlin guy.
So
because we hired Canada before.
I get that,
drafted
but
Kenny.
I'm just simply saying while we act like these two dudes aren't fit for each other, we act as if Canada and Kenny aren't this match, as if they ain't got more history than any of us got with either one of them.
We played bad matchmaking from the start, trying to match Canada with Ben.
It depends on the perspective of how you're looking at it, though. If you're looking at it as we're trying to match him with 7, then sure. If you looked at it as, we needed to get somebody in here that was going to be willing to take on the risk of having an older quarterback with extremely high expectations that was going to be viewed as the scapegoat regardless of what happened, I think it's a different perspective. That's all, man. I don't think it's as beautiful as y'all be making that thing sound at times, man. I'm like, bro, it wasn't glamorous. It was weird.
Should have never had him. Should have never had Kendrick Green at center either.
So Kendrick Green terrible, but is Kendrick still starting in Houston?
No, he's hurt all year. He's been out. He got hurt in our game, yeah.
So he ain't been back since our game when he hurt his back.
No, he's literally out. Yeah, I think he was put on the IR.
Okay, because I was like, man, I watched that. I was like, yo, we can't say that it was this god awful. He definitely was down there, and we watched the game and he was fine.
We did that,
and that was versus our defense. It wasn't versus somebody else's defense.
We let up. That was our own fault. I couldn't believe we let Kendrick Green look competent.
Okay, so once again, when we make them claims, I'm like, I don't know.
I mean, we can agree. Kendrick Green played terrible for us.
Fair,
right? We could at least agree that.
I would agree, But when I see him go sports, I'm like, all right, you know what I mean? It wasn't god awful when he played against us, and I'm like, I know we're supposed to be good up front.
Small sample size.
Fair enough. I could definitely
Texans
get you on
version
that.
Of Kendrick Green.
I could definitely get you on that. It was a revenge game, so he had a little extra motivation. Yeah.
And yeah, I think we were asleep at the wheel.
I would agree with that to an extent too. Yeah.
JJ was in the building. TJ got all sentimental.
They played us. They did it on. They were real strategic with how they did it. Yeah.
Come on, yeah. At the very least, I just read that. Sorry.
Did me on GF?
Yeah, should be.
Where your BM at? Your baby mama ain't here today?
Guess not.
See, baby mama got lost. I was going on a little hiatus in my feelings. And dang on your BM to moved on or something, man. Yeah, man. Jeez.
Yeah, GF just says, hit the like. This is going to be epic funny.
Hey, no, I salute you, GF, one time for the culture. Absolutely hit the like button one time, man. Don't forget to subscribe either. I always feel like I got to remember to say that because, like, I don't be pushing the little, like, subscribe button. You know, the cool people having a little subscribe and like button.
I just want this Bengals game to happen quick. Like, I want to play it right now.
24-hour rule, man. I'm with you, baby.
I want to see what it looks like. Chris says, the con artists had too good of an offseason for us to look like this. Come on, Steelers, wake up.
Facts. We'll wake up, though. And we have been woken up. We just had a stinker, man. Like I said, sometimes you're going to be going here.
We still
and you
almost
take
won
a
the
little
game.
bit.
That's the other thing. Like, we literally should have won the game.
Mm-hmm.
It was in our grasp.
So at the end of the day, that's where you hang your hat at. We don't seek comfort, but when we talk about why we are not saying the sky's falling, it's because we know if all these things took place and we still had ample opportunities to win at the end of the game, we're fine. In terms of right now, we're fine. In terms of the method that we've implemented this season, we're still fine. Now, we're not saying that that's the long term or that's what you want to, put all your eggs in going forward. But in terms of what we've already said was the mindset, and clearly we can see from Coach T, it's like, yeah, everything is still doing what it's supposed to do. We just got to hold up to our end.
Yeah, and even though I wasn't the most fond of how we almost won yesterday's game,
no,
it still was better, or like the formula or just how things were playing out was better than the Ravens game and also the first Browns game of us kind of lucking into those because of the Ravens and Browns mishaps.
But
whereas,
see,
like
you say luck when defense makes things happen.
All right, well,
we've seen consistently now throughout this season and last season and the season before that is not luck. Our defense is consistent.
Hear me out.
Yeah,
All right, Browns game, the defense bailed out the offense.
Okay.
So that's what made it feel like it wasn't sustainable. Defense literally put up more points than the offense. But the Ravens game, I do think we got bailed out there with all those drops that the Ravens had. This one was just us playing slow and steady. We had the game plan in there. And, 10-10 and almost at it. Ultimately, going back to that time when we were beating the Browns on Monday Night Football and lucking into that win against Ray, I'll take the win over the loss. I will.
Yeah.
I will. But I just feel like we're in a more sustainable just way of doing things right now. Even though I do think we took a step back, but we're getting there ever since the bye. You get what I'm saying?
We on the same message with that. Now, I do see people asking about Mitch, though.
What?
They just want to know your thoughts on Mitchie.
Come on.
You throwing Mitch out there? Is he under consideration?
No.
Is this a Pitt scenario? We didn't go to the number 3. We just answered the number 2.
No.
All right.
0.
All right.
I asked the question on Bleacher today. I put a poll up, and the question was, who should start next week?
With
Kenny,
this?
Mitch, Mason. Mitch, least answers.
Who's the most?
I mean, 5. And it was Kenny was at like 50%. Mason, 30ish maybe.
He was that high up on
I told you, bro. The Mason talk is very serious. Yeah, they're bypassing Mitch. No one wants anything to do with Mitch anymore.
I was going to say, because Mitch didn't even get a snap, did he? He had. I think he was about to get a playoff. Yeah. They was like, nope, come back. Yeah. Dang. All right. Dang, we really there. It was 50, 30, and 5. Jeez.
Yeah, it's around there. 50 something, 30 something,
right.
and like in between like 5 and 10. from Mitch.
Okay.
Come on, yeah. Can we have a 1-2 punch of 22 and 30 long term? No,
we don't want any long term running backs. We're all leasing. We're not buying any of it. Just lease it. All right. So for Naji, it's a 4-year lease. Then after that, we're going, return and go get another one. Jaylen Warren, same concept. A 4-year lease. After that, return, you get another one. In all seriousness, though, yeah, I mean, if they could both stay healthy and produce the way that we want them to produce, then yeah, we want them as long-term options. The biggest issue is the availability and the sustainability for running backs with their health specifically. It just, the numbers continue to show that the more touch they have, the longer they play, they decrease the fastest in terms of, being productive and effective as they, play longer in their careers and stuff like that. So that's the big reason why it's the no to the long-term element of it. But if long-term is next season, we can have another season like that.
I might be wrong. Swayze TV says Deke's lying. I was in the BR question. Excuse me. Mason was higher than Kenny. He says cut it out. I don't know. I can check back. But I'm pretty sure Kenny was at like 57%.
He fact checked you at your own. Oh,
I don't know. I saw it briefly afterwards. Did I take a screenshot? I might have taken a screenshot.
I think Swayze TV did.
Hold on. I did take a screenshot.
Say, yo, cut it out. What he said?
Here it is. Yeah, I did. That's actually exactly what I said, right?
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. 33-19 and what's that last one? 5 in terms of the votes. Yeah.
So yeah, 33 votes for Kenny, 19 for Mason, 5 for Mitch. So 58% for Kenny, 33 for Mason, 9% for Mitch.
Man.
Maybe he saw it at a different point. That was like the final. That was actually after I logged off. I forgot to reveal the results at the end of the stream.
Fair enough. Dang. Shout out to Mason. His approval rating, though. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with that, man. In terms of a guy just getting, second chance. Nothing wrong with that. We like redemption stories. Work for Gino.
I'm good on that here right now. Trivium X with
they kind of got me wanting to put a poll in. I'm like, dang, should we put a poll in? See what they say about us? Maybe we got to check. You know how it's like, yo, what they saying in that state, like when it's politics, say, yo, Georgia feels like this, Pennsylvania feel like this, though. I'm like, man, all right, maybe that was that. Maybe this was the Bleacher Report group. I don't know. Like, is this one different? I don't know. I'm just asking. Yeah. How'd you poll it? What was your words? Like your exact words was, who would you have
who would you
start this week? Who
yeah.
start this week?
Yeah.
I mean, I ain't put the poll in a minute. I'm serious, Deke. It's been a long time, bro. It's been a long time. I almost forgot how to do it.
Let's see what the fans want to say.
If the fans want the poll, let me know. If y'all want to put the poll in, drop it in the comment section, man. We'll give us a little time. Deke, do you want me to put the poll in? Want to get to the bottom of this thing, man? Or we want to start at the top?
I'm not commenting on any of this phrasing.
Don't make it weird, dude. We just having a conversation, bro. Just talk about the poll, bro. People saying poll it up. I just want to know, like, if Deke down for the poll, man, I got poll for you, bro. I got you, man.
So over at Bleach Report, we call it the poll, but here I call it the survey.
So you called the poll over there. So
yeah,
you got a poll, I got a poll. What you trying to tell?
I call it the survey here.
All right, okay.
We try not to do innuendos over at Bleach Report.
Innuendos? I can't even spell innuendo, D. All I know
keep
is
it straight professional over there.
See, I like to go straight in it too. That's why I like to talk polls. It's like, yo, we straightforward. All right, yeah, ain't wrong with that. All right, so let me word up this poll the right way, huh? Who would you start at QB this week? Correct.
Yep.
That's the correct wordage on said poll. I don't want my poll to be confused. I don't want people to get tricked by said poll. All right, good, honest poll giver. Okay. Now, did you go numbers or did you say full name? I just want to make sure I'm an accurate depiction of how we want to pop this poll in.
I think I put full names.
All right.
Yeah, Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph, and Mr. Trubisky.
All right, let's do it then.
You could just do 8, 10, and 2 though.
Oh, no.
I think people get the gist of it.
See, I don't want them to get the gist. I want them to get it all. I'm trying to give it all to them, okay? All right. Who would you start at QB this week? Kenny Pickett, Mr. Trubisky, Mason Rudolph. The The poll is in, baby. The poll is in. All right. Oh, man, they jumping on it already. All right, hey, now. You tapping on that yet? You messing with the poll or not yet?
I voted.
So you interacted on the poll?
Oh, my God.
What the poll talking about? Oh. Oh.
No, people.
Oh, they play it, bro. They got to be playing, bro.
They're trolling it.
Yo. Bro, it's 100 people on this poll right now, Deke. That's Deke. Deke.
They're trolling.
Deke. These numbers, Deke.
But I told you it's real. I told you at the beginning of this.
Oh yeah, Mitch gets no love. I see Mitch got no love up here.
Just like
crazy.
people are dead serious about
I like
starting
Mitch.
Mason.
I told you,
Mitch
the guy.
People were very dead serious about starting Mason. Like it's a serious thought amongst Steeler Nation.
Hey, bro, they really on this thing, man.
Raudella says it's not a troll.
No, I'm literally looking at these numbers go back and forth between Kenny and Mason right now. Like they really kind of like, yo, debating this thing.
More Mitch love on this one than the last one.
He been stuck at 12%. His number has not moved. He jumped out the gate at 12 and it has not. Oh, 13. There we go. All right. I'm about to say it's been Mason and Kenny. Dang. Bro, I did not know it was like that. And it's only been there for a minute. I try not to be a minute man today. All right. I don't want to be no 1 minute man. I'm take my time with it.
I'll read some more supers then.
All right. Yeah, let's.
Well, Trivia Max joined the upper room.
Shout out to Trivia Mix and welcome to the upper room. Yes, indeed. And if I remember correctly, it should still be a film session, early access for you in there. I think that's still available to you, upper room. So yeah, salute you on that, man. Absolutely.
Amin Ashtabi. Deke's number 8 top 3 is the worst take in NFL history.
The way they voting and moving on this poll, Deke, that's the feeling I was getting. I'm like, man, they are not supporting your stance. They are not supporting you on that take right now. That's kind of crazy. Mason has surpassed Kenny on the poll. And there's literally 200 and something people to them.
A lot of football left. I can't say top 3 right now. I can't. I'll agree with that, but I said by the end of the season.
So we still got 7 games. Still got time.
There's a
before the end of the regular season. Right? That's what you're saying, regular season, correct? Or season as a whole?
Give me the season. Give me the full season. Give me some playoff action, too.
Respect.
A lot of football left.
All right. Okay.
I am prime. I do have Kenny top 10, I think, still. Yeah. I said after the Packers game, I'm not wavering. One week, yeah, I'm not going to jump off that. I am prime.
All right.
Give me why don't we do it like by month, kind of in a way.
All right,
again, batches.
Hey man, you tell me, bro.
I'm not gonna go off one game like that.
Listen. You tell me how to operate. I'm just glad I got to have a poll in today.
So
that's all. I'm just happy about that.
Oh yeah. After this Bengals game, you can ask me in December at some point. About,
okay.
Like, where do I got Kenny right now?
Post Thanksgiving time frame. Yeah.
Where do you got Kenny right now? Top 10 or whatnot, and then. You still holding with the whole top 3 by the end of the season.
Yo, why Cook says top 10 in the AFC North? Hey, yo. It's not funny. It was just funny how he said it, though, because, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm on your team, Deke. You know I'm on your team. I just didn't expect him to say
so.
Top 10 in the AFC North. I'm like, yo, wait a minute. Yo, stop. Don't do that. I'm with you, though, bro. I'm with you.
I just don't know if you'd put up with this type of stuff with Josh Allen. Though.
What? They said Josh has thrown the most interceptions since coming into the NFL. But he's also thrown the most touchdowns or had the most total touchdowns since coming in the NFL. And that, that 6-year span that he's been in, that includes guys like Patrick Mahomes, Herbert, and company. It's like anybody we compare about in NFL history, he's thrown the most picks and had the most total touchdowns. So he's an outlier, regardless of how you want to look at it. All right? So, yeah. I was just glad that I saw the second stat about him, more touchdowns. It's like, all right, we're going to hang our head on that one. And, yeah, gunslingers, sometimes you get shot. And I'm going to leave it at that. Yeah.
I'm pretty surprised at that stat, to be honest with you, though. It's not like he was putting up crazy touchdowns his first couple of years. He was getting rushing,
He scores
I guess.
a ton. Yeah, he scores.
He was getting rushing.
Even the pick he threw on Sunday is literally the play before half. It is like, yo, just throw it up 60 yards. It is like, all right, it gets picked. And that became the whole, he's threw another pick. We like, bro, are we for real? Like, that ain't like that. I look at the week before, I'm watching Gabe Davis. This is when they fired Ken Dorsey, hitting him in his hands. And kind of like when we would joke about the Deontay Johnson, the sevens last year. It hit off his hands, and we like, yo.
Yeah, the one pick went right through his hands.
So literally, I'm watching Josh, and it's like, yo, you got a handful of picks that literally are that too, man. So yeah.
Rob Lightfoot says Deke is texting his buddies to come vote real quick. They'd probably vote Mason, to be honest.
Bro, Mason is still up.
My friend group message, they can't stand Kenny.
Bro, Mason is still up right now. I don't want to end it. It's been in 5 minutes. I'm starting to sweat. You know, if you poll it for too long, you get hot. You know what I mean? We ain't trying to turn it into one of them sessions, but I want to at least have the number ending with Kenny on top.
This is really random. Pittsburgh Toddy 86 just says, is Joe Namath still alive?
Dang.
Yeah, I think he is.
He better. I think he is.
I don't know if he's asking like, oh, do we call him up?
I thought they would go Dan Marino. You know, if we're gonna go down that list, yeah.
Yeah, he actually, I think it was like a month or two ago, he eviscerated Zach Wilson on some podcast, so he's still alive.
I would say, yeah. Shout out to Joe. Joe be out there, man.
I Am Prime super chat. KP threw 28 times and was pressured 22 of those 28.
Yeah. Like we said,
kind of goes to my point.
Oh, yeah. And you were right about that part. And we all do agree with that initial statement of, do you want more playmaking? Yeah, that's the difference, right? If we're going to just simply look at the pressure and say, well, hey, this is a quarterback that cannot overcome pressure, that's fine, but we have to put him in a different category. If we're going to say that he is like some of these other quarterbacks that are available or that are having success in the league, then you look at them and say, man, we know Joe Burrow was the most sacked quarterback in the league. We look at Josh. We know he's heavily hit and sacked. We can go down the list about Mahomes, all these other guys that have had bad O-lines or have been pressured a ton, sacked a ton, hit a ton. It didn't keep their teams from being successful. It didn't keep those particular quarterbacks from being successful either. So that's the only thing. It's like, that's fine, but that's the part when we talk about seeking comfort or not. This is kind of what we're looking at. It's like, yo, we can't start to minimize how we view this player now that we've seen him struggle a little bit more than what we were anticipating. And that's kind of, you know, when you're talking about them pressures and stuff like that, quarterbacks get pressured in this league, man. Ben got pressured a lot. Ben got hit a lot. Ben got sacked a lot.
We won a Super Bowl with the worst O-line in the league with Ben.
It's like, yeah. So what are we trying to say here? When we make these statements that, you know, the scheme wasn't, the O-line wasn't, this wasn't that one. It's like you're telling me that every variable has to be perfect for this particular player to have success. The National Football League is not built like that. It's a salary cap league. You're going to have holes. You're going to have to find force multipliers or guys that can at other spots. So if you keep coming with the message that all of this other stuff has to be correct for this guy to look good, eventually they're going to say, man, let's find the guy that can make it look good in spite of all this stuff. That's all.
Now, I will say, I think that does matter, though.
It does.
In terms of getting the right OC, getting a guy that can help get the offensive players in the right spots and stuff. Because you look at Tua, his first couple years.
Okay.
Down and out, right? I think a lot of people were writing him off. They were trying to trade for Deshaun Watson, but then they get Mike McDaniel in there. And to his credit, he looks good. Jared Goff starting off. He had Jeff Fisher.
But we also,
then he gets Sean McVay.
But we also can't act like Tua is not benefiting from Tariq. Like,
sure.
That's a massive.
Well, Mike McDaniel had the great idea to trade for Tariq.
Which is fine.
He was an innovator.
Which is fine. But we've also looked at Tua, and you and me both have said the same thing.
I still don't think he's good. I'm sorry.
Because of why? Because you're watching him throw slants, and the receiver is making it go 70, but he's not just carving you up like that.
Yeah, I still don't think
that's part of the issue. So when I look at him, I'm like, okay, we can talk McDaniel, but that still looks very systemish to me, and that's why we still have a lot of questions about Tua.
Well, I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
But he is putting up stats.
He is, though.
He's got people thinking he's top 10 and everything. I guess.
Remember
that's
they said the
point.
one time he was like the MVP front runner or something like that? That was actually going into that Bills game. Now that I think about it. All right, I'm going to stop the poll now. Take the poll out, Deke. I'm pulling out. All right. Kenny won. Shout out to Kenny. I had to time it up. You know, you got to get that last, all right. Not too soon, not too late. Not too soon, not too late. So I pulled up right at the last second. I got Kenny Pickett on top at 44%. Mason Rudolph at number 2 at 43%. And then Mitch Trubisky at 12%. That's with 327 people voting, Deke. That was a lot of people on that poll today, man. Poll got a little tired. Like I said, it's been a little while since the poll got active. But, dude, I am surprised that Mason really was a heavy hitter like that, bro.
I'm not, based off the reactions I've seen over the last 24 hours.
Yeah, I missed this, man. I had no clue it was going to be like that, bro.
People were ready for Mason.
It's really like, yo, skip Mitch, Mason. We are... Deke, that wasn't 1 or 2 people. That's a rack of people, man.
To be fair, if I did want to bench Kenny, I would put him in? I would skip Mitch too.
You
and
would
go
go Mason as
to
well?
be fair.
Dang.
No, but I'm still going with Kenny, obviously. But if I was on the Kenny hate bandwagon, okay. I think I would go Mason too over Mitch. Yo. Just skip Mitch. I'm done with it. Yeah.
All right. Jeez.
To be fair.
Even though technically we've seen Mitch be the only one to have success to that level of all the 3 guys, right?
Mason has sat out enough that he's built his stock up, at least over Mitch.
Because I'm like, Mitch is the only guy that we've actually seen be the guy from start to finish, lead a team to the postseason, a missed field goal away from actually winning a postseason game, and made it to the Pro Bowl. Just like, yo, that's kind of crazy to me. That's why I'm a little bit more surprised. It's like, yo, handful of games was like, yo, we seen it off. All right, for sure.
Yeah, out on him.
All right.
Luke P, Unleash 30.
No, we down for that.
Jay Gray.
Keep giving it to him, man.
I think I'm the only one that noticed Kenny giving Matt the cold shoulder on the bench. No, I noticed it. I saw it.
Or maybe he was just mad with himself. Because sometimes that happens also. You're knowing when you're not doing your best, so the execution just isn't there. The time was a little bit off. You're just frustrated. You're like, man, that's part of when we like you in the booth because I don't have to actually see you. And we don't have to have this awkward, uncomfortable, I
think it's time to put him back in the booth, too, maybe.
No. What? One game of it not having the execution, now all of a sudden we're going to put him back. When we talked about, man, it was still people open. It was still a chance to get out the stadium.
You know what? I saw a conspiracy theory. I saw a really funny comment. Forget where it was, but they said Canada did that in the Browns game because it's getting colder. He wants to be back up in the booth.
Say, yo, stop playing with me. Y'all about to have me on this field in December. I don't want to be down here. Except, man, he's fine on the sideline, man. He's fine. But that is part of it, though. When your coach, your coordinator are on that sideline and you do something bad, or even if it wasn't all the way bad and they couldn't see it all the way, yeah, you feel all that. Just a little pros and cons to it. It's not the end of the world, but obviously we've never had to hear about, is he giving such and such a cold shoulder, or are they having any type of tension? This is a part of the sideline. This is a part of it. Because
we
now
need
it's
to
more
see
eyes
a Pickens and Canada interaction at some point. Well, actually, hopefully we don't, because that means things are going awry.
Yeah. And
we're going to look into some stuff.
Yeah. And even more so with Pickens, it's like, yo, Pickens, you had the best answer all week from everybody that I heard interview you. I love what you said, especially, how people was coming at you these past couple weeks, man. So I'm like, yo, we don't want that. No. You're in a great space, man. Keep it going, baby. Keep it going.
Chris, no time for Kenny to develop. We're in win now mode.
Yeah, and that is part of the issue. And that's kind of what we've been saying, too, with Kenny. It's not always fair, but it's the reality for him in the sense that, yo, you got drafted to the Pittsburgh Steelers where we're coming off of Ben Roethlisberger, and we always have Super Bowl aspirations. So not only are we replacing a Hall of Fame, but you got to hit the ground running. And if not, within 2 years, we're trying to replace you.
Right, with a lot of other quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence, even C.J. Stroud with the Texans. Now, he's running with it. Joe Burrow with the Bengals. You just go there, and they're like, throw as many picks as you want. We don't care.
Josh with the Bills.
Right.
It's like, bro, this
Andrew
is
Luck
a
with the Colts.
zero pressure situation. We know you're going to take some time. Get it how you live, bro. We're going to love the highlights. We'll live through the low lights, and eventually you're going to click. And once it clicks, now we're going to love you. For Kenny, he doesn't get that same luxury because we got Coach T, who has never had a losing season. We got a team that we always say is Super Bowl contenders. So even though we could say go out here and learn on the job realistically and sink or swim, we aren't that type of team mentality-wise to allow us to sink or swim like that. We're going to say, yo, this is our floor. We're not going below this. And we're going to incrementally give you a little bit more until you prove that you're worth it.
Rico from the 4. Kenny statistically is the worst quarterback since the 90s, who's played at least 20 games. How long do you continue to start him before you lose the locker room?
So, lose the locker room is a fun thing that a lot of people love to say whenever there is any type of adversity. If you're losing your locker room this over stuff like that, then your team wasn't locked in from the first place, man. You're going to have adversity. You're going to have moments where it doesn't always feel the best or it's not the most comfortable. If you cut bait and run every single time it's adversity, every single time it doesn't go your way, yeah, you're not going to win a ton in this league, man. That's the reality of it. If you point fingers every time it didn't go your way, you try to minimize your role in it, you're not going to go very far in this league, man. So for this team, they're committed. They're going to keep rolling with this until it gets to the point where they're like, yo, we don't have another option. We do have to make this choice. And that doesn't always have to be because of a loss either. It could still be, man, they win the next 2, but Kenny is still struggling. And then they're like, all right, man, we need to do something to give a spark. No different when we switched out Mitch for Kenny in the first place. We had the case was like, yo, is this Mitch? Is it Canada? What is this offense? We don't know. But we said, man, we needed a spark. And we just did it. Right, wrong, did it matter? Was it appropriate? It did not matter. That was the approach we took. And to an extent, it did give us a spark. So when we're talking about how much time, that part I think is a little bit more fluid. But I don't think you're in this big concern of losing a locker room here in Pittsburgh because of Coach Tomlin and his constant messaging of buying in, locking in. We only decide once. This week to week stuff that we do, you know, me and Deke, the chat, this is the fan and the media vibe with it, where it's like, yo, we extremes each and every week, right? We win, we're going to the Super Bowl. We lose, hey, man, we need to draft quarterback, right? That's outside the locker room. Inside the locker room, man, we ain't got time for that. We do not have time for any of that. It's 24-hour rule. Win, lose, or draw. What we did good, what we struggled with, let's elevate what we struggled with. Let's maximize what we did good with. Let's get ready for the next game, man. You don't have a lot of time to be thinking about, I need somebody else at quarterback. I need somebody else here. Because that help is never going to come. So you're going to either be what we call seeking comfort, looking for answers that are not going to be available to you while everybody else is laughing at you for having them problems or not caring that you got them problems because they like, yo, we ain't dealing with that. Or they like, yo, misery loves company. Hey, y'all finally like us now. Ha ha, we got y'all. Or you say, bro, with the pieces we got, how do we maximize this right here to be the best team we could be? And for the Steelers, they taking that approach, man.
Sean McCartney, next offseason, get a new OC, work on the pass protection, build an offense through Kenny's rookie deal before throwing in a new quarterback in this offense. This offense is not one quarterback away from perfection.
Yeah, but with that mindset, you're going to go back to the Matt Canada element where you have coordinator that doesn't match QB. Those are, like I said, my big concerns right now because Kenny has not proven technically anything at this level just yet. Or enough to where you feel like he is worthy of us bringing in a whole new guy that we think is the best scenario for him. It's like, no, if we're going to go that route, it's probably going to be you bring this in and we're going to try to bring something in to either 100% compete with Kenny or be the guy over Kenny. I don't think you're going to be able to get it both ways because unfortunately we've seen too much from Kenny that has reflected exclusively on Kenny in terms of some of the routine throws, the reads, the pocket awareness. That part, regardless of how you feel about Canada, is too much tape out there refuting that to put that on Canada. So that's the part where it's like for Kenny, man, I don't think we're going to be able to just get that perfect transition of, yo, bringing this dude, ride with that, and now we're going to both. I don't think they're going to do them like that. I think them dudes are kind of going to be hand to hand, man.
Sean 0989, I can't even blame Kenny at the end. How can we expect him to do anything when we've done nothing to even get him or the receivers in rhythm the first 50 minutes?
That's a matter of perspective. I mean, we were throwing passes. The execution wasn't there. You can make a case about the protection not being to what it needed to be, right? Definitely could do that. And we obviously talked about how much Kenny was pressured. And even when we talked about the playmaking versus being just a regular guy, right? All of that is, you know, on the table with this thing, man. But at the same time, you're minimizing how good you think Kenny is then. If you don't think that he's able to just, I don't care what the rest of the game is look like, pull it out right now and give me a drive. You're telling me that he needs it to be perfect then. You're telling me that he can't be clutch if he hasn't had multiple times throughout the game to be where he needs to be. And that's fine if that's the case. But once again, that messaging is not consistent with how people have talked about Kenny Pickett, man.
No, we should have got out of that stadium with a dub. Yeah. Kenny's very capable of that. I mean, come on.
And I don't think that's a bad expectation to put on Kenny. That, you should at least anything, get, that's a good thing.
Yeah, I wanted to say this earlier. If anything, I think it goes to show the coaching staff does have faith in Kenny because they wouldn't be trying to play the whole close game and then
put it in his hands in
get
the
him
most
the ball in the
critical
fourth
time of the game.
Yeah,
think about it, bro.
We passed it 3 times. It's like, we have no qualms about this. Do your thing.
The most critical time of the game, we're saying we're going to put the ball in your hands. And now we have an issue with that. It's like, we can't have it both ways. And at times, it's like, we try to have it both ways with Kenny, man.
Just kind of wish we do it earlier. You know what I mean? In certain spots.
And that's what goes to like the overall philosophy. Yeah, we're both with that. Where it's like, Coach T is not showing the.
Now I think yesterday's game is different because if we do convert on some of that stuff against the Titans, Thursday Night Football, or we even put the pedal to the metal against the Packers, like those could be 30-point games. Yeah. We're not talking about being too conservative or anything on offense.
Very true, man.
It's just yesterday had a particular feel to it because we were going up against the Browns defense. Yeah. That's my takeaway. It shouldn't look the same against the Bengals. I think we should more look like what we did against the Packers and Titans.
Yeah, I would agree. The Bengals defense ain't like that. The Bengals is good, but I'd look at the Bengals defense almost similar to the Jags and Green Bay. Good. They got some pieces, but at the same time, you're not looking at this and saying, bro, they got a Myles Garrett over there. How are we going to defend that? All right. Trey Hendrickson is a heck of a player. Sam Hubbard, good player, right? We don't look at them like we look at Myles. We don't look at them like we look at Bosa. We don't look at them like we look at TJ. So I just think for that, it's going to be a little bit different feel to it, man.
Kevin Vega, how do you feel about DeVito's stat that he has more games with multiple touchdown passes? Mm-hmm. Finally, Steeler fans see what I've always seen in Kenny. He's back up.
Man, like I said, the longer the sample size, or the larger the sample size gets, the harder it is to defend against that type of stuff. And that's why you've heard me say, these 7 games are going to be crucial. Because when you bring up a Tommy DeVito, when you bring up a Zach Wilson, when you're bringing up quarterbacks that should not be, brought up with you, or these are the guys you don't want your name being brought up around, and your name keep getting brought up around them dudes, eventually we like, that's who you are. The sample size becomes too far, and it's like, we can't keep saying, all right, he's young. Because for football years, yes, he is young. It's his second year. He's not even, like I said, a full 33 games this year, right?
20 games, maybe?
Yeah, but the flip side is, we know he's also not 22, 23. So I get both of those too,
Armin Ishtabi, stop making excuses. You both have trash takes.
Hey now. Thanks for tuning in, though. Appreciate you.
Cliff the Dark Knight, starting to think that the 5th year at Pitt was an anomaly, and Kenny is more in line with his first 4 years at Pitt. His regression is worrying the fans.
And trust me, man, there is nothing wrong with having that thought process, because that was part of the questions with Kenny coming out. Were you the best quarterback because of your skill, or were you the best quarterback because you had just been playing collegiately longer? We talk about Jordan Addison. It's like, all right, we saw Jordan rise to another level. Was that because of, him, or was that because of what Kenny was able to provide? And vice versa, right? Kind of like when we talk A, B, and 7. It's like, who made who did what? I think all of those things with Kenny, are fair. They're definitely fair comments and thoughts. And it's not, to me, I don't think that it's anything outlandish because of what we've seen through these first 20-something starts. It's like no one is having to make up he's missing routine throws because we've seen it. But then at the same time, it's like, we don't have to make up the winning because we're seeing that also.
Let's go, UW. Kenny can't keep missing wide open receivers, and Canada needs to use the middle of the field at all. Also, where are our tight ends at? They have no showed for weeks.
Yeah. I get why we say it every single time that, we don't see a completion to the tight ends or we don't see a pass attempt in the middle of the field. We instantly say, Canada, you need to use the middle of the field. I'm just telling you, when you cut the tape on the all-22 does not support what you're saying. The all-22 has shown since week 1 receivers in the middle of the field, schemes that do attack the middle of the field. The big debate has been what the quarterback is reading, progressing to. Now, some of that has been on the quarterback, some of that has been on the offensive line in terms of how much time he's had to come off first read to get to those second and third reads, because our offense right now is not designed to play through our tight ends. So when you think about that, you're basically saying that your tight ends are sometimes second or maybe your third read. Part of the issue we've talked about is pressure. We've also talked about Kenny seeing the field. We talked about Kenny working through his progressions. All of those things, they all go together, man. But we can't minimize, once again, that part from Kenny and say, oh, Kenny, you ain't caught it in the middle of the field, man. What you doing? Because that is not the case. And the all-22 has consistently shown that, man. But like I said, it doesn't always feel good, because to acknowledge that means that the quarterback is more at fault in this scenario, which has also been consistent with how I've presented this thing, because as a former player, I've never said to myself, man, I got beat because my coach didn't come out here and help me whoop this dude, man. When you get beat, most of the time it's like, yo, that guy was better than me for 4 quarters, man. I did not win my one-on-one matchup for 4 quarters. And that's the reality of it, man. We can try to minimize it as much as we want to, but as you heard me break down, when you keep minimizing it, it has to be perfect, and all these conditions and variables got to be in order for this guy to be successful. They're going to say, yo, you're not a part of the 1% then. Because the 1%ers say, yo, we don't need all that. We figure it out. And that's the part right now, what we trying to figure out with him, man.
Sean McCartney, thank you, Moats. Talking about the whole offense like a team sport. Kenny can only defend himself. He needs to step up and play consistent. But we can't ignore the other issues on offense.
They all in this thing together, man. They all in it together, baby.
We got, how much time you got?
We cooking, bro. Just keep rolling.
All right.
We pushing.
It's just a riddle. I'm usually not critical of the OC, but man was calling plays. I call it 12 under, a motion swing pass. Kenny's been bad lately, but I trust the Steelers process.
And that's my thing, man. Trust the process. Trust in the steal away. It was the steal away. They figure it out. The players figure it out. The coaches figure it out. They always figure it out. I do trust that. And it's not like we have never seen Kenny make these plays. I think it'd be a different conversation if we've never seen him have successful throws, successful reads, successful maneuvering in the pocket. We just need it more consistently. That's it, man.
Camonier, people will disagree, but when the offense as a whole has been bottom 10 the last 3 years, that has the fall on Canada. In my opinion, this is Canada's dumpster fire.
Okay, well, he did say that was his opinion on it, so I don't have an issue with that. I don't personally agree with it, but I get it.
Yeah, I'm completely fine moving off of Canada whenever. I am prime. The whole league says they know our plays. OC.
Man, ain't nothing wrong with that. If that's, the stance you take, cool. Say, man, I'm not about to try to change your mind on that, but if you think that football is not predictable, if you think that we don't line up out there multiple times and know what the opponent is about to do or have a higher probability of doing, then yeah, you're sadly mistaken, man. That's it. But I get it, though. It fits, so I get it.
GF, respect Deke's loyalty no matter what.
You are loyal, bro.
You don't gotta respect me one way or another. It's fine.
I always say all the time. I just like the consistency.
I'm giving my takes.
I tell you all the time, bro. Once you show me how you gonna rock, man, I rock with it. Just keep me there. Don't have me all over the place. I'm trying to figure it out. It's like, nah, you heavily consistent with your takes, man. So major love.
It's just a riddle. Mason should be our 2 or get a chance if we fold.
Like I said, if we fold. If we fold, man, all that's on the table. But we not there just yet.
AJ Martinez, Kenny is dealing with passer paranoia. getting hit on every play, even when he's on the bench. Is he the Rocky of the NFL? Sabotage 7. Balls is number 1 as always.
All right, man. That's fine. I'm with it, bro. I'm with it, man. Yeah.
Could be. Could be a reason why he's checking down, but I mean, it is a physical league too, so I don't want to be making too many excuses here.
Like, man, Joe Burrow went to a Super Bowl. He was sacked, was it 50-something times? It hit how many times on top of that? We talked about Mahomes. We talked about Josh. We talked about all these other 7. Ben Roethlisberger even here. We talked about all these other dudes, man.
Kenny's tough, though, too. I mean, we've seen his toughness. Something just feels off with him, though, this season.
Sometimes when I watch him, I think he's in his own head. But that is also common when you're talking about a young player in this league trying to figure out who he is in this league. Because you go through the identity crisis of I was a playmaker, I was the guy collegially.
Yeah, and you're winning games too, and don't want to hurt the team.
Yeah, but at the same time, you're trying to maximize yourself as an individual because we all know the name of the game is still compensation. This is our job. So you still want to set yourself up for that second contract. And right now, if we were going to put a poll out and say, yo, would you give Kenny a second contract right now? It probably would be a large majority of people saying no, they would not. So he deals with that also. And I think the human nature part of, even if you're not actively on social media, you hear me all the time say, man, I'm not up there all the time, but I still get enough of it. Yeah, as a player, man, it's tenfold. So he gets that also.
He needs to deactivate the accounts.
What I'm saying is, it doesn't even have to be him. If you got a wife, you got a friend, if you got a mom, a dad, an uncle, a brother, it's going to get to you. That's all I'm saying, bro. It's going to get to you. So to an extent, I'm like, I think all of that is at play. But at the same time, people don't care when it's professional sports. If this is a regular job, we looking at all them variables and we're like, bro, yeah, this is legitimate, man. Like, all right. But in professional sports, we got to win. And we put that clock on you. And now we like, yo, man, it's been how many games? It's been how long now? And we doing that. We're like, it's 20. It's like, think about it. Is 20 games really that long? To have a hard horse? It's 20. It's like, yo, it's 20 games we're talking about. But that's the nature of professional sports. They'll say 2 seasons is enough to write a guy off, yes or no, even though we've talked about multiple guys that have taken years to develop. And it's like, yo.
And we've seen a lot of positive from Kenny, too, as much as people want to bring up the negative and some of these misses that he's been having this season. Like, there's been a lot of good, including those game-winning drives, no? Fish Momentum. What's good, guys? Prayers to your family, Moats.
Hey, nah, man, I appreciate you, man. Definitely need a lot of them. Can never have too much of that right now. Crazy time.
Also says, Deke, keep being you. Hashtag Happy Thanksgiving. Hashtag Bengals.
Let's go.
GF, rest Chooks. Keep putting 2-2 on TV. Keep that value.
We did have somebody, I think, say that the value was going down too, though, man. I seen somebody talking about the value not going the right direction, man.
He's not wrong either.
Let me find out Pitt and West Virginia agreeing on something, man.
He's not wrong. I think that's the one thing we could definitely say TG was right on.
Stop, man. Stop.
I'm being serious. Steve Williams, why don't we use the I formation to provide a lead blocker to get to the second level of linebackers? Najee and Jalen would benefit extremely. Your thoughts, Deke, Moats? I need some answers.
Man, y'all told us that it's too predictable already, right? Right? You said it's predictable and Najee is out there. What do you think is even more predictable if Najee is out there with a fullback? I don't have an issue with it. But I also don't have an issue with when people holler about the predictability part, because I'm a firm believer that you can still know something is about to happen. And if you can't stop it, does it really matter? And we can go and talk about countless players in this league, both in the running game and in the passing game, when we know it's an obvious situation and every single person watching the game knows who the ball is going to and how it's going to get there, and they still can't stop it. I just, like I said, when I see it happen too many times, I start to believe it. And I've seen that happen too many times to feel like, it can't happen here. I think we can do those things. And if not, then you find the people that can. But if you're not going to have that type of standard, then it's like, what are we really trying to accomplish also?
James Bradshaw, hard to blame Kenny or Canada when the O-line is that bad. Yeah, it was bad.
From a passing standpoint, we could talk protection.
Yeah,
but from a running game,
right
and that's my thing. I'm like, well, we pick and choose which part we want to crucify the line for. I haven't heard nobody talk about how we're one of the very few teams that actually have 100+ yard rusher against that Cleveland Browns defense. Look up and see how much yards they're allowing on the ground, and look up how many running backs have had over 100 yards rushing this season against that Browns defense. It's a very small list. So to an extent,
should have kept feeding that, man.
So to an extent, I'm like, O-line, it ain't as bad as how people trying to make it sound, because I know what I saw in terms of that part of it. But at the same time, yeah, could they have been better? Yes. I also have said with the blitzing part, though, and with the design of how we were releasing our running back with the screens and stuff like that, I thought that also played a part in that. Is that on O-line? No. That, to me, was more scheme, because I'm saying to myself, yo, if we're going to free release that running back, we need to have him turning around faster, or he needs to be picking up this extra blitzer. Now, we saw the plays when Myles Garrett cooked. We saw the play when Broderick got beat. It's like, yo, that stuff, yeah, that is on the offense line. But some of that other stuff is a blitz. And that's what we have to decide, okay, what is the design of it? What's the communication for Kenny in terms of his thought process? So, once again, when we say it is multiple people that are at fault with some of this stuff, man, yeah.
Quan77, y'all should do a mid-season QB ranking.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, why not? When did I say? December.
December? We're revamping December?
Yep.
All right. December, we got you, man.
Let's go month by month. How about after
November
that Patriots game? I think isn't the Patriots game the first week of December? Yeah, we'll do a QB ranking after there.
Yo, they really benched Zach Wilson for 6 touchdowns and 7 picks.
What?
They said they really benched Zach Wilson for his play this year, huh? 6 touchdowns, 7 picks.
I mean, that's not going to solve their problems at all.
For sure. I don't think so either. But
they should have kept Mike White. Ooh. Well, I guess when you get Aaron Rodgers, you don't really
need Mike. Yeah.
Expect that you need Mike White.
And you had a high-end backup, first-round high pedigree guy.
James Bradshaw, Big Deke. Who is your first-round draft pick right now? O-line, linebacker, or corner? Might be that left tackle.
Okay.
Pair guy with Broderick. Cornerback second round. And then kind of do the same thing at linebacker again next year. Scoop up some good free agents.
Low-key,
draft a guy in the third round. Maybe draft
I wouldn't mind that, though. Yeah. Can we get one? Can we get a little bit pedigree? But, I'll probably say third round linebacker. First round, TBD right now, man. TBD.
Oh, God.
I just says TBD, bro. We got 7 games, man. Can we at least see what we can we? I just want to at least see the 7, bro, before we go anywhere. No. I'm with you. You said it's too early to make a decision.
Oh, God.
I'm with you. I just said it's TBD. It's TBD. We're just gathering information. All right, just week by week, we're just gathering information. Before
I'm seeing what way you're starting to lean, and it's fine. You just got to be straight up about it. Just be honest.
Deke, I'm on your team, bro. I'm on your team, Deke. You know I'm on your team. We got 7 games, bro. We just take our time.
And you're probably one of the more positive guys about Kenny right now.
I'm very positive about it, but I'm like, let's just take our time. But we got 7. Let's just get through the 7 games.
Starting to lose you.
I just want to get the 7 and see where we go during this time. You know what I got to deal with in the house. I got little man asking me, how did Josh do, Dad? And then he's like, how did Kenny do, Dad? Yeah, it's kind of tough. Started asking me about Kyler Murray lately. I'm like, whoa, killer, hey, easy, big man, okay? Yeah, just I'm working around this thing, all right? Just help me, Deke. Tell Kenny to help me, please, man.
He needs to help me, too. Eddie T Gaming, Jaylen Warren is a quick version of Jerome Bettis. Warren is the answer. Why are people afraid to speak the truth?
It's not that they're afraid to speak the truth. It's just that they don't want to offend the former first-rounder. Those are the politics of playing professional sports at times. When you start throwing draft picks, contracts, things like that. Yeah. And for the organization to admit that they were wrong, or not to say they were wrong, but to admit that a guy could come in as an undrafted guy a year later after they took this guy in the first round and within realistically a season surpass him to the extent that we're all like, yo, we need more of that. That's a tough thing to admit. It's a tough thing to just come to that conclusion, man. So they trying to make sure they do their due diligence with that thing, man. But yeah, I don't think people are afraid to speak the truth. I just think that that's kind of what they're dealing with, though, man.
Yeah, who's the one that's afraid? Are you talking about the Steelers organization? Because I think most fans
are tripping on it. Yeah, fans are saying what they want, but from an organizational standpoint, you can't do certain things at the space or at the speed that fans or media would want, because you're actually dealing with people. They're not just a number on the jersey. They're not just employee number, da-da-da-da-da. It's like, no, that's Naji Harris. That's Jaylen Warren. They got feelings. They have personalities. They are going to come in here and see each other every single day. And if you draw a wedge in between them, do you think that's going to make them better or worse? Do you think that's going to make this team better or worse? Like I said, I've been in the locker rooms, man, when you get some of that tension where it's like, yo, these dudes got to smoke with each other, man. It ain't fun. You be here like, bruh, I'm going to go over that side of the room today, man. I don't even want to be in here today, but y'all crazy. It's real.
CJ, GP's and DJ's body language on the All-22 says it's time for Mitch. KP's confidence isn't there anymore, and he needs to sit back and gather himself again.
To an extent, I get what you're trying to say, and I don't hate it, but at the same time, with the quarterback, because we talk about them kind of like the prima donna, so to speak, right? When you talk about pulling a quarterback who is in his second season as the starter, and you say you're going to bench him to allow him to gather himself, that is not how that message is going to be perceived, because the headlines are going to read that Kenny Pickett was benched, and everybody's going to talk about how bad his play has been, and then the shift is instantly going to go from Mitch, Mason, and who we drafted. So it's a lot harder to bring a guy's confidence back from there. So I just think that for them right now, they don't want to deal with that. They want to give Kenny the best opportunity to fully put his best self forward, both physically and mentally. And that's why you keep hearing me say these 7 games, they're big, man. They're big, but no different than the first 10 that he's played in. They've all been big for him, because when you're a first rounder and you're young in this career and you're trying to prove yourself, it's a results-based business, and we are big in the what have you done for me lately business. Kenny has to start giving more, because lately we know what it's looked like, and that's why we had the conversation we've been having today.
Richard Hunt, shout out to JMU on game day. If we don't open up the offense, it'll take longer to see what we have in KP8. Tomlin appears reactive, not proactive.
Just a matter of perspective, man. If you deem reactive being that we're taking an aggressive approach where we're going to lean on our defense where the money is and take less or put less on the plate of the younger quarterback, sure, you could look at it like that. But you obviously, my perspective is just a little bit tweaked from yours,
Fun 6000. Mason did not have this many excuses.
And I do agree. I think Mason and Mitch both did not have these excuses available to them, nor did they have the backing from the fans, media, and clearly the organization. So yeah, we can make that for both of them dudes, man. Doesn't matter though, right? In the sense of is it fair or not? It's like that's the reality of professional sports, man.
Richard Hunt, Kenny is killing me with this spinning out of the pocket.
How do you feel about it, bro?
He did it one time yesterday, and there were guys on both sides, so that's the tough part.
I felt back and forth, yeah.
Yeah, like he was clearly trying to evade Myles Garrett, but then the other guy's right there, and Myles Garrett is damn good. Because if he would have stepped up in the pocket, Myles Garrett could have easily tackled him.
But at the same time, it was like Myles was losing his balance. So it's like I see why they said, but I don't think for Kenny, you got to realize how fast this is happening. He's about to step and he sees flash of Myles Garrett. We get the luxury of seeing Myles take a little extra step to get it going. And we're like, oh, you could have just stepped up in it. But I think in that moment, you saw flash here, and that's why he went for the bell. I just think that we have the PTSD because we've seen him do it more frequently. So in this game, when it happens, we're like, oh, my God. Because I know myself, I even initially react like that. I was like,
when I watched it again, I'm like, I don't know what he was supposed to do.
Absolutely. I looked, I'm like, bro, Myles is clearly one. We can't, we see him out of control. In that moment, Kenny's not seeing that like that, man. So that was I'm like, I don't think that he was off with that particular escape.
We got GF. Keep that left tackle healthy. Running back for a rookie QB, they will need. Holy hell! I don't know what. This isn't even like coherent English right now. Keep that LT healthy. A running back for a rookie quarterback. They will need. And Mike T already got Chi-Town's number. Okay. You know who we came to see in Mike T voice, LOL. They're basically saying they want Fields.
That's definitely what he sound like. Yep. Let's get to the off season, then we can talk. All right, let's see what these 7 games look like, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, KP's got to shut these people up. Let's go, UW. Casual reminder, I needed that game-winning drive yesterday is what I needed.
That's what you needed.
I needed that because all these stats people are bringing, all this stuff. I'd say suck it, game-winning drive.
That's the great equalizer. When he wins, that's the Jimmy G argument. That's the, bro, you can say what you want, but he still done this. This was him not getting that moment, so that's why they just on you, man.
I needed that yesterday. Let's go, UW. Casual reminder, last time we played Cincy without Burrow, we got our butts handed to us.
We did. That was what, that was Sevens last year, right? Yeah.
No. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
No, he's saying without Burrow. Yeah, we did. Yeah, Monday Night Football. That was the eyebrow game.
Yeah, that was Coochie Man. Shout out to Coochie Man.
Yep. There was no reason for us to lose.
I would have lost an eyebrow with you though, Deke. I can't even hold you on that one. I would have been right there with you. Take my eyebrow because I believe it too.
In coming back, but yeah, we got housed in that first half. That was bad. It was ugly. Yeah. Sticky Bubbles. At what point are we gonna force Kenny to grow up or perform better? Getting a little tired of him just throwing to his check down and not looking at anybody else. Also, there are multiple times they have a follow up here.
I was trying to see. I did not see it.
Nah, I don't see it either.
Nah, I might just hit that enter button on accident. But these next 7 games, man. These next 7 games, that's the part when you're talking about forcing him to grow up. And I don't think it's in the sense of you put the ball in his hands more or less, but I do think it's in the sense of you have to show that you're more than just a game manager. You're more than just what they call him, a back shoulder merchant, right? Or a check down artist. I think these 7 games are going to be crucial in terms of that, because if it does look exactly how it's looked throughout this season, right? The highs and the lows included, this offseason, we're not going to be sitting here saying that, man, we don't need to bring anybody in here at quarterback. We're going to be saying we need to either bring some legitimate competition to push Kenny further, or we're going to be looking to see, man, who's available that we think is a better option. So he has to get better. But like I said, that's these 7 games, though, man.
John Easton, fans would rather be right with an L than be wrong and win.
Which is crazy, and that is very true, man. I literally seen people saying, man, if you really are still a fan and you want Canada or Kenny gone, man, we should be rooting for this team to get blown out every week. I'm like, who wants to do that? How is that fun? I don't want that. That isn't fun to me. But, yeah.
Sean Diddy 6, Kenny check down. Pickett is not the guy.
Hey, you gotta be careful with that name right now, bro. Block hot. All right, I ain't been on social, but I know enough. The Diddy. You gotta be careful with that, man. All right. But we got 7 games. We're gonna find out, man. But the door is starting to close a little bit. We like, whoa, now. Hey, now. We be all right, though.
Doobie Mills, Naji know they not good enough to compete for a Super Bowl.
Said if that's
I don't think so. I think we're a lot closer than people think. We did take a step back against the Browns, but
honestly though, we're not.
I think the most interesting part will be is if we go up against, Chiefs and Bills, or any team that has a decent offense, playing this way. That'll be just straight up interesting matchup.
I would agree.
It's almost like, can we take a team like that down in the mud, down to that level of like grinded out type of football and succeed for multiple games in a row?
Yeah, very
potentially.
True.
It again depends on the matchups, because we could play with teams in the AFC that are in contention aren't as prolific of an offense.
Jacksonville's been up and down sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, we saw how that game played. I mean, that was a little bit of an ugly game. So you get them for a game, grind it out, but then if you got to go on the road or go up against a team that does have a better offense. It's like, how does this matchup play out? Can we play that good of a defense?
Yeah.
We'll see. And who knows? Can the offense improve to the degree that, they could hold their own?
Yeah, because if the offense starts to score more, then
it doesn't have to be as good as
about
Mahomes.
the defense.
It doesn't have to be as good as Mahomes, Chiefs, but enough.
Yeah.
Enough that you're putting up, at least 20-plus points.
And look, it's a scale, right? Our defense needs to be X amount good. Our offense needs to be X amount good. And we meet somewhere in between this thing, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
AJ Martinez, 5'5". You and Deke know two things from my supers. 1A is confusion and 1B is laughter.
Hey, big
Let's
facts.
go. I love you all and much respect. Blessings to the Moats family.
Nah, respect, man. I definitely appreciate you from the heart. From the heart.
Sean Diddy 6 says, go get Justin Fields. Kobe.
They on the Justin Fields,
Says
man.
Fields over Pickett. At least Fields will make a play. That's why we admire 30 over 22. 30 will make a play. 8 ain't a dog. He might be a pup.
Kenny got dog in him. The playmaking is the question right now. But Kenny got dog in him, man. I didn't see Kenny come back for some shots, man. He done been out there. Shoot, even when he had his little dirt eyeball situation thing playing out, he still came back. So I'm like, you know what? I like him. He ain't taking the easy way out. If you gonna get your whooping, go ahead and get your whooping. All right. If you we gonna critique, go ahead, stand up like man. Go ahead, you play this game long enough, man. You gonna have some performances that you want to take back, man. That's life. You gonna be like, bro, I should have been better this week, man. I could have been better this week. I left something out there this week. It happens, but don't run from it. Take it on head on, man.
AJ Martinez, Deke, just imagine 7 in Pickens. Domination. I'm sure it'd be lethal. Autumn McCaddy, Steelers need to get rid of Matt Canada because we don't know what Kenny can be until we get a real OC in there because with Canada, it's not working.
I mean, except that's a perspective to have, man. We're not tripping on it. Definitely not.
We also got James Bradshaw. This is my third super right now. Deke, who would you draft right now? O-line. Wait, is this a repeat?
I feel like you just read that one, right? O-line.
Linebacker, corner, center.
Oh,
no,
that's
he
a different one.
didn't have center.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm sticking with left tackle. Maybe get a center in free agency. I can't remember if Cole's back next year or not. You could look at that free agency. Yeah, I think top 3 is O-line, corner, linebacker.
All right.
Depending on who falls.
Okay.
Maybe you do get a left tackle in the second round. It just depends on who's elite at their respective positions and where they go in the draft. Figure that out.
Did have a couple that kind of were mixed in. Tyler from the 334 says, how is Naji not effective in passing? You forgot Raiders game last year. He split 2 defenders for 20 plus yards. Or how about Ravens game winning catch? Bias. I think you just brought up the full extent to an extent.
Well, we ain't using him in the passing game anymore.
You tell me. Tyler from the 334, who do you feel gives the best, Now, granted, this chat was a lot earlier, but that's my thing. It's like, if you think 22 is a better receiving option out of the backfield than 30, to each their own. That's no different than when we talk quarterbacks and Deke is like, yo, Kenny is a top 3 corner. I'm taking him over these dudes. Yo, that's his opinion, man. So ain't nothing wrong with that. I don't agree with it in terms of, Naji being overly effective in the passing game. I don't think as a former NFL defender that, 22 is scarier than 30 in terms of the passing element. So, I don't personally agree with that, man. Has he made plays? Sure. But making plays versus being a true legitimate threat, I think are 2 different things. No different than when we talk about some of the runs, right? We've seen Naji have some effective runs. We've seen Naji have some explosive runs. We've never seen Naji do what Jaylen Warren has done with that football, though. So a player can still be good, but that doesn't mean that they're going to be all the way there in this part of their game. And for Naj, yes, the passing game is not his strong suit right now. Part of that is because of his style. When he gets that ball in the open field, it takes him a little bit more time to get his momentum going. So when we're throwing it to him in the flat, he's not getting the same advantage that Jaylen Warren has of if he fast releasing that linebacker's having to chase him full tilt. No, when they throwing it out there to the flat to Naji, man, they're getting hit in the face. They're like, bro, I'm running up on that. or they're in position where they're not chasing, where they've, had to compromise technique to an extent. So now you get guys overrunning Jalen Warren. How many times have you seen Jalen catch it? He'll stop and come back because you're chasing so hard. How many times have you seen Naji really have people overrun him? Nah. Every once in a while you get the stiff arm, but it's more so the muscle stiff arm, right? It's that one. Because you're not having to max out to go get him like that. So that is why when we're talking about who's more effective in the passing game and why you want to throw it more to 30 versus 22, that's specifically why we saying it like that, man. It's not saying that he can't catch a pass, make a guy miss, or split two defenders on occasion. It's like, sure. But what have you seen be more constant and what has been more outlier between the two as it pertains to the pass? And I think that's the big difference between those two with that, man. At least from my perspective.
Joe Gerbis, Moats, how does Kenny have one more year? Oh, well, no, he says, does Kenny have one more year? Then it shows he is or not the guy, because to be honest, I don't know how to feel last Kenny.
These next 7 games, like I said, are going to be crucial in terms of just how the team evaluates him. I think if it stays consistent like how it's been, they will bring something in here to compete with him. I don't think that they completely write him off because they did invest a first-round draft pick in him. And it's hard to just move on from a first-round draft pick within the first 3 years of that. That you don't typically do that with first-rounders. Because those are your first rounders. These are your franchise cornerstones. These are the guys that we're putting all our eggs in their basket. So we're going to take ample time to make sure that we are 100% sure that we were wrong in our evaluation. They're not going to be in a hurry for that. So these 7 games are just going to dictate what type of move they would make in this offseason, whether it's a depth, a competition, or they bringing in a new starter. These 7 games are going to tell us that, though.
Troy Mason Jr., I'd give Naji and Kenny and one of our Super Bowl trophies for Herbert.
They love that Herbert, bro. They love that Herbert.
I do like Herbert, too. Let the season play out.
He nice, bro. He nice. All right, I did have 2 more that we had lost in here, too. Billy Metellus says, looks like Kenny is afraid to make a mistake to their point where he has regressed. Did the Steelers wait too long to remove the training wheels? I don't think they waited too long to remove the training wheels. I think just for Kenny, man, this is also a part of growing up. He's taking chances early in his career. We talked about how he had more interceptions than touchdowns. The big thing this year was, man, come out here and be better than you were a year ago. So how do we do that? Cut down on the turnovers. That was something that we had all preached. We talked about it at the end of last season. And I think that for him, he does still understand that that's a significant part of playing football at the national football level. If you can protect that ball, you're going to win games. If you just do the bare minimum right, you're going to win games at this level because teams are going to figure out ways to mess it up. Not everybody's going to be disciplined enough. So we've seen our approach. But I think for Kenny, at times, yeah, you go through that internal battle of, do I want to take a little bit more of a chance or do I play completely safe? And then some of the stuff is him just having some bad plays at a time too. So I think, like I said, all of that kind of plays in this thing, man. But yeah, to an extent, I do think Kenny has had some moments where he doesn't want to make a mistake or mess up. And that is fine with young players, man. And then the last one I had was from antimatter _ Eli. Or, excuse me. Yeah, no, Ellie. Excuse me on that one. It says, bring back Bradshaw or see what Tom Brady is doing. God, dog. They went to Tom on us? Maybe that's give me Tom. Jeez. All right.
The Bradshaw one is the funnier part of that.
All right. We getting down there. We getting there. I don't want to get that far just yet, man.
This one just came in. I want to read this. Yeah. Q says Miles Jack is going to wear 16.
Ew, that stink. Why are you wearing that?
I don't know. It's something 51.
Herbig.
Yeah. He's got a new number.
16. That just looks stank though. All right, make it look cool, I guess. Yeah, 16 at inside linebacker. Yeah.
AJ Martinez.
Oh, we almost to the bottom of this thing, man.
We're getting there. He says, I will pay for a call in. Lexi and I will call in, but don't make the cut. My phone is terrible. $5 a minute. And if I could pay for one call in, I will pay for 5 other people to call in as well.
See, who's that? We don't need to do it like that, man. We do not want the phone lines to become a paving. All right, we don't need a paywall for phone access. It's cool that that's one of our like things that we just do. That's like our thing, you know? Yeah,
it could be lucrative.
It could be very lucrative as we're seeing, right? It's like, geez, y'all thought the upper room was cool. Wait till we're gonna have a phone line room, okay? If you want access to call, this is your upper room. All right, this is what we call y'all the phone call room. All right, you gotta have special membership. It costs a little bit more to get in here. All right.
I am prime. Can we also agree the refs gave the Browns that touchdown? That was a makeup call.
Yeah, I was about to say because the safety was definitely a safety, bro. How'd you feel about the safety?
I thought both of them were safeties.
I did too.
They didn't really show the replay on the Naji run, but
and they weren't tripping about it. But I'm like, bro, like safeties, man.
Yeah, I think it wasn't definitive that he got the ball over.
I never
but
saw it either.
It's just I guess that was. Oh yeah. They reversed it.
Mm-hmm.
So by the letter of the law, I think they should have kept it as is. But you could kind of tell it did cross. You could tell, but you couldn't see it.
Yeah,
you couldn't definitively see the ball.
I'm just saying, JMU lost in overtime behind definitively seeing the ball. Just saying. I seek comfort as a fan on occasion, and I do play the fan card on once in a while.
Saffer Burchett. What's up, fellas? I try not to overreact with KP, but it's hard not to look at other QBs and what they're doing. Also, I think coaching from OC to O-line coach to the DC is suspect.
I can understand that. Trust me, I can definitely understand that. You're not alone, though. Like I told you, man, globally, the Bills fired their offensive coordinator a week ago, man. Fired him, all right? It happens. People go, be critical of their coaches at times because, yeah, we do expect more from our players at times. But at the same time, I do think we have to understand the personnel that we have in some of these situations and just how it's all connected, man.
828 style, I guess it's super chat then. It's time to stop babying KP. Either he's good enough or he's not. He was picked 20. If Deke can say 22 needs to sit back and let 30 cook, what's different with Kenny?
Well, that has been one of my big things, just in terms of the quarterback position. It's like we want competition at every other position except quarterback. We'll bench a player. We'll call a player out everywhere else except quarterback. And if it's a Hall of Famer, if it's Ben Roethlisberger, I'm 100%. I'm like, yo, he's above reproach. But there are certain players where it's like, yo, all right. What is the big reason that we don't entertain it at times? Some of the conversations that people have had with quarterbacks. From your perspective.
Well, people were entertaining it with Ben. They were at the time, and that's the unfortunate part. But yeah, because you're right, he's above reproach. But with that,
you 2-time Super Bowl champion. What are we talking about? First ballot Hall of Famer. You're above it. Yeah,
completely above reproach.
Yeah.
But with Kenny here, I mean, you've said it too. I do think the quarterback position is a little bit more fragile in terms of how you bench and start guys.
Which I definitely agree with you, man.
In terms of locker room, who's the leader, what's the message that you're sending, and particularly in this case with Kenny Pickett, we did invest a first-round pick. Now with Mitch and Mason, different stories with those guys. Mason was a third-round pick. He was just in for that one season.
He's kind of in purgatory, I felt like.
Yeah, it was weird because Ben got hurt. He was in that one season. We had a very good inkling that Ben was going to be coming back and playing for multiple seasons after that.
Even when we drafted him, that was the whole controversy.
Mitch, we gave him a little 1-2 year contract. Mm-hmm. Viewed him as a stopgap. Almost, you just see what you could do.
Yeah.
Number 2 overall pick, you obviously do have the talent. So, we invested first rounder in Kenny to be the franchise guy. And with Kenny, here's what I'll say. We have been winning games. I know a lot of people want to consistently focus on the negative with him, but he has also done a lot of positive.
Yeah.
Now, this season has felt like a little bit of a step back in totality. We have seen the game-winning drives and whatnot, but the end of last season, Kenny was solid for us. I think people are overlooking that. I think
with you, man.
Kenny last year, 2022, was better than anything we've seen from Mitch or Mason, on a consistent basis.
I can respect that.
So I mean, yeah, he's the guy we drafted in the first round. We've seen good signs from this year. It hasn't really been consistent. So, yeah, you want it to play out. As I said previously, no matter if you're a hater, you're a Kenny truther, in the middle, you want to see what this guy's got. We put a first rounder. Yeah, we invested a first rounder into him. And he's shown positive signs, too. Like, there's enough there that you just don't want to be like, man, yeah, he just really has never looked good for us. Like, Mason, there were times whenever he had that stretch of starts, probably like, 6-7 games, never felt like he was getting better. Yeah. It was constantly that. Mitch, again, he may have got a raw deal. I'm not even going to front about that. But
in his second approach, we've seen too aggressive.
Yeah, at times. Yeah. He's been a little helter-skelter. Whereas Kenny, that stretch from the bye last year to the end of the season, also getting to see some of these game-winning drives, there's enough there. There's enough there. You give the dude the benefit of the doubt rest of the season, for sure.
That's why I heard you, man. Let me see these 7, man. Like, show me what you're going to be, man. Show me what you're going to be.
Because and he has stepped up every time there has been adversity. He has.
I'm like, you know what the situation is now, man. So if you want to be the guy, this is your chance to be the guy. If you want to open that door, this is also going to be your chance to open that door. But right now, Kenny is 100% in the driver's seat, baby. 100% in the driver's seat, man.
828 style. I'll take Landry right now.
Hey,
right about now.
Shout out to Landry. I don't even know where Landry's at right now.
Hell no. Jonathan McDormand, quick question. If you guys ever both have a question that you want the chat responses from, any chance we get to see 2 polls go in at one time?
You and that DP, he wants a little double penetration with the poll game. All right. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with that, you know. That Earl work for him. I like to go 1 poll at a time. Personally, that's me. But I don't know how Deke rolled. Deke might like 2 polls.
Nah.
We'll go to the next comment, man. Let's go to the next one, man.
Q, bring back Super Bowl champion Chris Dukin for some Super Bowl pedigree.
Ooh. They said bring back the Super Bowl guy, man. He is a dual threat.
Come on.
He's a dual threat.
We're getting reckless out here.
I'm saying he's a dual threat guy, man. What about Kyle Allen? Can we bring him in? He got some experience. He keeps getting in some snaps. He got some snaps the other day.
Where's he at?
Back up in Buffalo.
I don't care about him.
Yeah, we always love when it's a Kyle Allen game. That means that, we up multiple scores late. Yeah. So he looks good at times in these situations. We brought in Mitch. Similar situation. Back up, bring him in, see what's up. Same thing.
What, you want Kyle Allen playing for us?
I did not say that at all. I was not saying that at all. It just sounded good in my mind, but I was not saying that.
I was gonna say.
I can assure you,
sounded
I was not
like
saying
that a little bit.
I can assure you, I was more so picking than anything. I was definitely not saying that. We got Mitch. We would roll with Mitch before we. Yeah.
What would you do? Let's say you were a KP hater. You want to get rid of him right now. Mitch or Mason this week?
Honestly, I'll go Mitch.
You would?
Yeah, and the biggest thing is, like I said, I'm a big believer in experience. I have, of all the 3 quarterbacks, only one I can say has successfully led a team from start to finish to the postseason, along with delivered a good enough performance to win minus a missed field goal kick, and you actually were a Pro Bowler. We're not saying, man, they put Tyler Huntley in on views. Like, no, you actually did get in. That's my only thing. And you also remember when we made the switch from him last year, I felt that it was premature. So that's why for me, it's like, man, I would go back with him because I have more comfort in him. Now, I don't continue with that because we talked about that even the last time he was out there with how aggressive he was. And when you heard me say, yo, that's even a short leash now because, like, yo, the past 2 times you done got called off the bench, you done thrown us out of it. So if you come out this 3rd time and you do it again, first pick, Mason, I need you. Like, let's see. This your turn now. You ain't got no long leash either because I can't even hold my hat on you by saying that, hey, I've seen you be successful because literally the time that you got to start, we put Duck in.
Yeah, the way you're describing it right now sounds like hell.
Yeah. So when I hear people saying Mason, I'm like, bro, what do we...
got. That's what we want.
That's my whole thing, man. I'm like, I get it. We want to go to just something different for the sake of being different. But at the same time, let's really talk about where we at right now if it gets to that. Now, I'm not there, which is why you hear me keep saying on the Kenny thing, give me these 7. Let me see what you're going to get for these 7. I need to see what you got for me. That's why. Because I don't want to go to all them other options. I'm trying to talk myself into Mitch or trying to talk myself into Mason. Right now, is that going to be optimal for either situation? No. I think if this is an off season and both of them are in different places and the mindset is different, sure. But I'm like, I got damaged goods and I got damaged goods. Not in the physical sense, but in the emotional and mental sense. Both of these dudes have been benched multiple times or to an extent been viewed as the scapegoat multiple times. It's just hard to deal with that stuff, man. Because they're going to be gunshot to an extent. They got some trauma. The trauma for Mitch is he's overly aggressive and
Mason shouldn't.
We say that, but even when he played well in relief action in Detroit or versus Detroit 3-4 years ago, people still crucified him, and we all agreed.
That was only a one-game thing, though.
But it kept going with the theme. That was the theme. Mason. If 7 was there, we would have won that game.
That is true.
But we all said the same thing. If Moof or DJ hold on to the ball, we win that game. But we looked at that as that's on Mason.
Was that a good balls year? I think he would have made that. Yeah.
All I'm saying.
I think he did. He drained like a long one in that game.
He did.
It was in the rain.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember post game, I was on the White Claws and I said, I forget what we did. Something about like
he ran over the one cat. Who dropped it? Somebody dropped the touchdown pass. If I think about it, who?
No, Mason threw one in the dirt.
Yeah, he threw it. Yeah, that's what it was. He missed one.
No, we could have just kicked a field goal instead of doing that final play to Muth where he fumbled. The field goal would have been long. It would have been like 58 or something like that. But I remember saying like I would have rather just went out that way as opposed to doing the extra play and having that negativity happen.
For sure.
JV Dobbs would have had this team at 8-2.
Shout out to my dog. Even though I did not like how they was trying to get my man killed. I'm like, bro, you go wildcat speed option and you pitch it to Dobbs and you get him lined up. Bro, what are you doing? Well, it's crazy. They suspended the cat too, though. They hit him.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, Kareem Jackson. He's been about 4 games now.
I wanted the Vikings to win, too, because now the Broncos are sneaking up into the AFC playoff picture. A lot of teams. There's legitimately 10 or 11 teams in the picture right now. Not liking that at all. Yeah, it's playing out how we thought in terms of the AFC just being so much better than the NFC. The NFC's terrible. After those top 7, and I don't even think...
It's a drop-off. Yep.
What are those wild card teams? It's like the Seahawks. I don't even remember the other two. Oh, yeah, the NFC South.
I'm sure the Bucks are in there to an extent. Yeah.
Whoever's... I think it's the Saints. They're 5-5 winning the NFC South. It's like, geez, oh, man. Yeah, NFC's dismal outside of like the top 2 teams. H2A style, listening to the explanations for KP and what he can and need to do, it sounds like y'all are describing a game-managing quarterback.
And that's what we about to find out these next 7 games. Which one are you? Because you have shown us more game manager than playmaker. But he has these 7 games still to change that narrative. Let's see what he does with him, man.
Picasso Pete giving us some support.
Shout out to Picasso Pete, man. Let's get it. I like that. Big fan of Picasso as well, man. My art people out there.
We got AJ Martinez saying, yo, bro, don't be talking shit to our gracious host.
Ooh. He probably talking one of them people in the chat who's kind of come at us. Come at you.
I'm cool with
it. You know AJ always ready. He got that cheetah with him, too. AJ will pull up on you. He don't care. He'll pull up on you.
People can talk smack. It's cool. A2A style, Canada is not the one who's not thrown to the middle of the field. It's the quarterback. He can't see the whole field. That's just the facts.
That's, I feel that way in terms of coach versus player.
A2A style, it seems as if we're good with not having a losing season. What does that matter if you can't win a playoff game? I'm not good with 8-8 or 9-8. Y'all can keep that.
Yeah, and trust me, we're not saying that we're good with it either, but what we are saying is this. In the meantime, would you rather be dwelling at 2 and whatever while we're trying to figure it out at quarterback? Or would you rather still be figuring out ways to win, stay relevant, and who knows, man, get into the dance and let's see what happens. I'd much rather have that version than, the other side of it where it's like, we don't have the franchise quarterback, if we don't have a guy that can, really give us a legitimate chance to outscore teams, then we'd much rather not compete at all. Nah, that's not going to be the case. Otherwise, we're going to hate being Steelers fans for a long time because it's a crapshoot trying to find franchise caliber quarterbacks. We talk about the same handful of guys and how the same other teams keep searching, trying to find them. And they might find somebody that's really good. And be like, oh, is this guy's the guy? No, it's Jimmy G. All right, let's try it again. Oh, is this guy's the guy? Oh, no, it's Ryan Tannehill. All right. This the guy this time. This time. It's RG3. No, I want RG3. All right, maybe it's Kirk Cousins. All right, it ain't Kirk. It's Trey Lance. All right, no, it's not Trey Lance. It's Brock Purdy. You see, we naming all these different. It's Josh Rosen this time. No, it's Kyler Murray this time. Which one do you want to do? We can chase all of that and just simply, always bet the house, always bet the farm on it. And we see the lack of relevance for a lot of those teams. Or it can be like how we've done it where we're still very much relevant while we are trying to figure out this quarterback situation. I just think that as fans, we are enjoying this version a lot more than if we truly got what some of y'all be saying. I don't think you really want that, baby.
Let's go, UW. Kenny hasn't done enough to separate himself from.
Shoot, any of them dudes. Yeah, it's real. It's definitely real. And that's the part where we like,
anyone.
Yeah, 7 games to kind of change that narrative, man. Because it is valid. The critiques, the criticisms, when people bring up the numbers, it is valid. But it's not the end all be all. It's not the official, this is the death notice right here. It's not that. He still has some time. Now, it's not a lot of time, but he still has time.
And I wouldn't say the full story of what's going on either.
No, it's definitely a lot of context in it. We're not taking away that. Like,
particularly in yesterday's game.
Stuff. Yeah.
Particularly in yesterday's game, because everyone wants to use the Browns' loss as like the huge indictment against Kenny. Again, I would bring up some of the misses he had in the Titans game or the Jaguars game over yesterday's Browns game. Like the offensive line was dismal in pass protection. Hollywood 931. Kenny lost the playbook. League knows the plays. Draft the QB.
All right.
Well, according to Naji, it didn't take Kenny losing the playbook.
Right.
Teams already know.
Yeah.
We telegraph them. 828 style. It's sad that 30 has more yards than 8 in the last 2 games.
He's talking about as a runner.
30's that good. Could that just be more a pro 30 stat?
Like I said, man, we just he got 7 to get him off of him. 7 games, get the people up off of you, man.
828 style. And here's the thing. Packers game.
That's what I'm saying.
We ran the ball for like 200 yards. I guess it was a running the football type of game. Coming off of this Browns loss, I think we're trying to pull up every stat now to go against Kenny. If Kenny pulls off that game-winning drive, I don't know if we're hearing that stat.
This is a part of it, man.
Yeah,
he got 7 games to get him off of him.
Yeah.
We know that. Just take it. You say, all right, I know what I got to do. He know what he's capable of. He know what he has to do.
828 style, our defense is great. Numbers don't tell the real story. There's no way they can hold every team from getting big plays on them all the time when they have played an equivalent of a game and a half more than the offense.
Yeah.
I don't know if they helped themselves, though, in the first half. Some of those long drives that the Browns were sustaining.
They also got different personnel out there, too, man. They not going to, do it like Minka was out there for 4 quarters. Or like we had all our starters out there for 4 quarters. So part of that is, added to this thing, man. But they still, I think they could be better. Trent Thompson definitely left one out there. We got some that we left out there. It's like, we still could be better. We're still 13.
And we're trying to get healthy. Though, yep. Let's go, UW. Trey Essex is even concerned about KP.
Yikes. And Trey usually be positive as heck, too, man. Shout out to Trey, bro. I like Trey. Yeah, shout out to Trey.
Scrooge Greedy, join the upper room.
Shout out to Scrooge Greedy, and welcome to the upper room. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Let's go, UW. Not let PH3 start at QB. He's got an arm. He needs to get a better leg.
Why do you like that, bro?
Here's my thing. We just asked him to punt way too many times. He did have, 2 or 3 bad ones, but
yeah,
he also had some decent ones. It's just, I mean,
you put it out there, I think, happen.
I think he's not top priority of concerns. Although, he needs to get better.
Right. But it's like, Prez, the more he got to do it, yeah, you
might have a shank.
Right.
9 punts total.
Yeah, I'm like, he's not a guy that we're saying 10 out of 10. He's gonna be perfect on all of them. He might be operating at like 6 out of 10 or 7 out of 10 right now. You know, I don't think it's 2 out of 10. So it's like, yo, he's in that mid class, but
I've seen many worse punters in my day. I'll put it to you that way.
I would agree.
Scrooge Reedy, Kenny needs to step up. What up, Master Moats and Big D?
Man, what's happening? What's happening? And yes, I think we all on the same accord, man. Kenny has to play better, and I'm leaning heavy that he will, because he don't have no other choice, man. You gotta get better. Dude, it's 7:30. We was out here, huh? I'll just tell wifey I was grieving.
Sure.
That's,
Sure.
It's part of my recovery.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's part of my recovery. So shout out to us being able to be down here a little longer today. All right, but definitely vibe though, bro. Vibe of a conversation, man. We paid our bills. Shout out to DraftKings.
Right.
We're gonna be fine.
Right.
Yeah,
Kenny will be all right.
And if not, then it's just gonna be even more fun for us to follow this journey along, right?
No,
because we're gonna be seeing you fight these people off, and it's gonna get more and more. You're gonna have to really start punching back. And I got you, dog. I'm in the car with you. All right, I'm riding. I'm in here, but it's like, Deke, we getting shot up, Deke. I'm like, bro, we gotta shoot back, Deke. Come on, Deke. Just one time, Deke. Deke. All right, we here, but yeah.
You're saying I'm Denzel in Training Day.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's getting bad, man. It's getting bad, man. Just help me. All right, I want to help. Just help me.
Sean Matthews, Final Super, says the frustrations are pouring out in the locker room.
I get it, man. Nobody wants to lose. And whenever you do lose, obviously we're going to be hypercritical in the way that we are as competitive professional players, man. Yeah. Sometimes we might not express it the best way for everybody else. But internally, I don't think that's an issue here in Pittsburgh. Because whenever we are critical of each other, it is from the stance of love. And as long as it's coming from a positive standpoint, it's coming from a place of love and encouragement, and we're really saying, yo, I'm not pissed with you because I don't think you're capable. I'm pissed with you because I think that you are capable. I'm pissed with you because I actually do believe in you. That's what happens internally in the locker rooms. Very different mindset than when you're talking about what you might see on social media or what you might hear on the airways or on TV, where it's typically coming from a not positive stance. Sometimes it might be, rooted in some jealousy in it, So I just think with that, just a little bit different, man. But them dudes will be all right, man. They would definitely be all right. But yeah, that will do it for today's show. So shout out to each and every one of y'all that was rocking with us today, man. We greatly appreciate y'all. Hit that like button one time for the culture on the back end. And don't forget to subscribe. It says Thanksgiving week, so we back in here Wednesday. Actually, I haven't even texted you about it. You Wednesday? We Wednesday? I feel like we Wednesday, right?
I'm completely fine with Wednesday.
All right.
It's not Thursday.
Yeah, I don't work on holidays. We ain't working on holidays, bro. We don't do that. All right, so y'all get us in here on Wednesday, all right? And then everything else, man, we'll figure it out from there. But either way, we appreciate you for tuning in. And until next time, baby.
Peace.